Oh, James.
Good tea. Nice house.
Scotty, in Argelia, they use the lights.
Now, no one has to tell an old Aberdeen pub crawler how to applaud, Captain.
Greetings and felicitations.
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Tea Time number 148. And every month, as we approach the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, that we'll celebrate in September, meaning we're celebrating all year. We are celebrating a bridge crew member, and we have celebrated Nichelle Nichols and William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and this month we are celebrating James Doohan. And gosh, and there are so many things we can say about him, and it's just a lot of it's just going to be a great time. Every great Star Trek fan knows the story of how he lost his finger on the beach at Normandy on D-Day in World War II, and of course we're going to talk about that. But a fewer might know he kind of had problems with the alcoholic father, although this was one of the things that made him proud of his son. And one thing that I didn't know is that he became really good friends with Leslie Nielsen. So these are the things we're going to talk about today. And today, to help me talk about them, we have Scotty R37. And for the first time on this channel, we've also got Dutch Gradient. Welcome. Hello. How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you. No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Oh, you got the trill at the end there. Very, very nice. Yes, Relics is one of my favorite. I haven't ranked my TNG episodes, but that is up there. Very, very good choice of a quote to say here. It's just really, really interesting I read more than half of his Beam Me Up, Scotty. I just got real busy. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing, so there are a couple chapters at the end I didn't get to. But there's a part near the end where he reviews 38 episodes of Star Trek, and I'm just like, wow. I could do a whole live stream of James Doohan's Star Trek reviews. That would be fun. But we're gonna get through as much as we can of all of this. We're gonna talk more in detail about his life and what led to him to be in the Army and World War II, and then of course getting into acting. So one of my favorite quotes early on in the book is, in the beginning, the fans would come up to me in the street and say, "Where's the accent?" And I would say, "I can only do that when I get paid for it. Now you owe me $50." Obviously, I can't do the accent, but it's just wonderful. This book is beautiful. And so
it is. And I've read it back in the day when it was first released, and it reads. I don't know if anyone helped him write it, because it does just sound like a dictation of what Jimmy Doohan was just like, all right, I'm going to tell you the story of my life, and a lot of it is going to be Star Trek, because that's probably why you're going to buy the book.
He does meander a lot, and it doesn't feel polished, so I think it might actually be him. And on the cover of the book, it says, "in his own words."
Okay.
So I think most of it is probably him. And
but it's a fun breezy
he might have had an editor. It makes sense if he had an editor, but
of course.
I think he wrote it. And hello to Tim. Tim is here too. Hello, Tim. That's Hale. And Hale also to Franco Walker. Looking forward to this. I hope you're still here. Aegis Flow also checking in. Aegis Flow, recent Patreon member. Very, very grateful to you. And PvP is even here. He says that this is his that James Doohan was born in Vancouver, and that he's his favorite Star Trek of the Star Trek crew. So I didn't realize he was your favorite. That's great.
It's good to see you, PvP. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough. My favorites, it's either Dr. McCoy or Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a tie. And that's going by. Like, people say separate the art from the artist. No, that's a combination of the both. in my mind. I think
Well,
DeForest Kelly is Dr. McCoy, and Jimmy Doohan is one of the best ambassadors for Star Trek. I love the story of James Doohan.
Well, and it's not unusual for an original series actor to love the fans, but it is a little unusual for the actor to love the show itself also this deeply. And so this is really a fun read as far as I got. Yes, the original series is so good, agreed. And that's why we're celebrating it all year for the 60th. I couldn't do any less. Yay, Scotty! What a hell of an engineer. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's a miracle worker, of course. He keeps that reputation pretty well. Jim says, "Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a polar bear." That's Snorty who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. And there's Classic Comics too, who does his own Star Trek reviews and other stuff on comics, obviously, and other cool stuff. Check him out.
Hey.
It is, yeah, there it is. Jill Notes is on the job.
Thank you, 3PO.
Yes. And so then also, let's see who else. We got more people here. Gavin Unit, of course. Of course, we've got to have Gavin Unit here. And for Gavin, we always have to play this one for him. And
The Golden Man.
You must be mistaken, sir. The gentleman and I have never met. Whee!
so a lot of times he'll say "we" in the chat, so we got to do that. And yeah, Gavin's here. Keith is here too. Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm just going through the chat to make sure I say hi to everybody because we do have a lot of people here who want to talk about James Doohan and his character Montgomery Scott. I have the biggest problems on the Mind channel. They're usually stuck inside a box. What? I don't know what any of that means. Does anybody know what's going on there? But hello to Brogu. Hi, Brogu.
Brogu.
The problem is he has trouble thinking outside the box.
Oh.
I'm thinking.
If you don't mention Scotty saving that one girl from self-deletion, unsubbing, well, you have nothing to fear. That is in my notes. I do have in my notes how he's done that. And what I really want to know are how many people did he save that didn't become a big publicity stunt? How many? Because obviously he's got more fan mail than that. I don't know. Like, this is just the one that became public. I have a feeling he might have saved more people than we even know. But I didn't have time to do extra research on that. If anything is out there. Kevin Theme Park Adventures. Snortopoopa says James Doohan is his favorite actor and character when I first saw the show.
Every time I see that avatar, I just want to boop that nose.
Boop.
Boop.
Yeah.
It would be the last thing I would ever do, but I would want to boop that nose.
Well, yeah, that's true. It could be dangerous. Yeah, he was friends with Leslie Nielsen. Surely you're not serious. Don't call me Shirley.
But she is serious.
Dutch Gradient. Yeah, look.
Gavin, good to see you, sir.
All right. Let's see. Okay, I think we're almost there. Damn it. I'm just a YouTuber, Jim.
Damn it.
Everybody's DeForest Kelly was last week. I'm just kidding. He can still make those jokes.
How many likes are we going to get on this video?
What do you mean $50?
I'm guessing we're going to get approximately 30. Mr. Scott, do you always multiply your estimates by a factor of 3? How else do you expect me to be called a miracle worker?
Yeah, that's how he keeps his reputation. And then he doubles down on that in Relics when he tells Geordi,
yeah.
you didn't tell him how long it actually took.
Really take?
Yep, the James Doohan School of Engineering.
Oh, it's so good. Although I didn't like the way he pronounced Lafarge. That was my only complaint about that episode.
I'm okay with him pronouncing anything the way he wants because, there were so many rude brats on the Enterprise that day.
All right.
And if it weren't for Scotty, those characters on the TNG wouldn't have existed. Well, Scotty and
Yeah.
others.
Oh yeah, no, totally. You're
Or
right.
they wouldn't
You're
be
right.
there.
Yeah.
Hence,
Matthew Eagle.
Crew.
Hey. Bones for the win. Yes.
yes.
Yes, we're slowly pulling the crew all together, aren't we? Gotta love them. Gotta love doing. And oh, it's this. No Waltons tonight on the Gorilla channel, so your dirty jokes have to wait till next week. That goes out to PvP also. I think he's a frequenter of that panel.
What the fuck is
And-
the Waltons?
It's a TV show.
What? What is it about?
I don't know.
You're
I've never
kidding,
seen
right?
Waltons.
I
You
know it's kind of like it's the GoBot version of Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, it was basically a family drama starring Michael Landon.
No, that's Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, well, I don't know. The Waltons was the other one then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I'm
you
just I'm
unintentionally
messing
helped
around.
him. That's great. Yeah. Power Ranger Donnie. Now here's my recent SoundCloud upload. Oh, if you like music and art, make sure to follow Johnny Power Ranger Donnie on SoundCloud and DeviantArt. He's a cool dude. No hi necessary here. Well, it's too late. I already said hello.
Hello.
Old Man Bird says, Captain Anti-Derivative Jill has given her all she's got.
Oh, come on. For Old Man Bird, you got to do the Scotty accent for that one.
Too bad. Oh, okay.
Okay. You gotta.
Captain Anti-Derivative Jill. He's giving her all she's got. That's the closest
Captain,
I could do.
Anti-derivative Jill has given her
I
all
can't
she's
do it.
got.
Thank you. You guys have to do that. I can't do it.
All right, we'll do what we can.
Thank you. I loved it when Tom Snyder had a Trek anniversary show in 1976, and Harlan Ellison was bad-mouthing Star Trek. Doohan offered to take him outside to straighten him out.
Yeah.
It's
it's crazy.
When he was really young, he would get into scrapes. Like he would, but he said he normally got into fights with guys bigger than him, so he always got knocked out.
Well, and that's the thing is that he was sort of, he was a slight man until later on.
Oh, diabetes will do that to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and he was slight, and then he entered the military. Hello, and welcome.
Sorry.
Richard Spake.
Hey, how y'all
He
doing?
became stronger. when he
Hello.
joined forces.
Hey there, how's it out there?
Oh, you've got a little background noise there. Let's see if we can fix that. See if that helps.
Me make sure I've put my Discord on streamer mode. So
Yeah, or mute the tab. That way you can still see it, but we can't hear it.
It sounds like you have an air conditioner going in the background.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
fans. I'm still waiting for the.
We all have
HVAC people.
fans, man. Don't gloat.
Well, right now we don't have our HVAC is messed up right now. Outside is 77 degrees. Inside is 86.
Ooh.
Oh, and that's too warm. I understand.
yeah.
We'll work with it. Abe's gotta get you. Abe's
Yep.
gonna get you. Jimmy Doohan was a legend and always will be. Absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, and it's great to talk
Was that
about
Data?
all of these. No, it's not Data. It's Abe.
Thanks, Abe.
Yeah,
Well, one
yeah.
of the
They're both
things
wearing
that-
green Power Ranger suits, but they're different.
one of the things about James Doohan was the man was something else. He went to Rock of Ages in Charlotte. It was the last con he went to, and it was he was supposed to sit in with where all the actors and actresses and all the famous stars and authors and artists and everything was supposed to be and sign autographs and stuff of this nature for the weekend. And instead he went to the hotel's bar and he says, "This is where I'm going to be," and took over the entire bar.
that follows with the autobiography I'm reading. He says, "Okay, I'm not going to drink at home, but when I'm at a convention, I'm going to have a drink or two while I talk to fans." And so just going straight to the bar, that makes sense.
Yep, it was
And
awesome.
This is what Brogu wanted to hear.
Hello, computer.
And hello to Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchum. Hello.
Hey, Maddie's daddy. You know, he was nominated for a Nebula Award for Star Trek 4 for Best Supporting Actor.
Nice. Obviously you didn't win it, or else you would have said he won.
Yeah. No, but
getting
still, to be
nominated is good.
nominated, I hear that is an honor.
It is indeed.
Hey,
The
Dr.
Waltons
Stripes.
is a family drama made in the 70s,
I did
set
say that.
from 1932 to 1965. Ralph Waite was John. Will Gehr's grandpa, Richard Thomas, as John Boy, or also known as Space John Boy, in Battle Beyond the Stars.
I
Says
know
Gorilla.
I know who Richard Thomas is, but not as much as I know who that Landon fella is, Michael.
You mean Michael Orowitz?
Oh, is that his real name? I didn't.
Yep, that was his birth name.
He had a lustrous head of hair.
Indeed, he did. I'm very jealous of that hair. It
is
because I don't have that kind of hair.
Oh, I'm close, but not as lustrous.
You have a good head of hair.
I appreciate the compliment.
I was praying in my youth that I would either go gray or go bald. God said, "Why not both?"
Oh no. I swear to God, if I had lost my hair, I would be walking around like Captain Picard.
I tried shaving
clean.
I tried shaving my head once to see if I could pull it off. I really can't.
Oh no!
I don't have the
personality. Do you have a bumpy head?
No, I just don't have the personality for a shaved head. It doesn't fit me at all. Yeah.
Have you invested in hats?
Indeed, I have.
Okay, good.
And living in the South now, I wear a hat for two reasons. One, to tip my hat to ladies, and two, to act as a great American toupee.
Howdy, Snort.
Hey, Snortapoopus.
Tim says, did you say he saved a life? Which is the best thing he said he did ever. And this was a man who was at D-Day. But that's also, I'd say he saved lots of men.
Yes, I would say he did. He was a sniper.
Well, he...
yeah, there were... Yeah, he got two.
The life that he saved that really got him, the interview was really something else, because he got a letter from somebody who was like super depressed. And he went to that person. And then he told that person whenever he was going to be at a convention anywhere near where they was at, that they had to be there. So, and he would go to those conventions just to go see that person, and was able to help get that person out of the depressive funk that they were in. And he said that was one of the most proudest things he had ever done, was helping that person fight that darkness.
Yeah, those, just sending a kind word out to somebody who's feeling that way can do wonders that you can't even imagine. And especially in this case, that she not only went to that convention to meet him, she also went back to school and she became an electronics engineer. So she's one of the many people who was inspired by James Doohan to become an engineer or to get into science in some way. He had that impact on people, and even got an honorary degree. I forget from which school.
Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Milwaukee. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Very helpful.
Anybody want a strawberry Fanta or a Yoo-hoo?
Oh, I can take a strawberry Fanta. Yeah.
All right, hold on.
I gotta see. Oh no!
I don't trust carbonated
everywhere.
Milk beverages. Yoo-hoos freak me out.
Yoo-hoo is not carbonated.
I thought it was.
No,
I thought it was carbonated chocolate milk.
The trick with Yoo-hoo is you shake it before you drink it.
Interesting. I've never had
chocolate, because the chocolate settles out if you don't.
Okay. Well, that makes sense in the post-apocalypse. Thank you.
My father grew up in Long Island. Apparently, it's apparently a very big thing out there. So
I've heard of Yoo-hoo. I've never had one.
Okay, so Old Man Bird just tipped $20.
What?
Thank you, Old Man Bird, on the stream elements. So yeah, so things can
Okay,
still happen over here.
Scotty, take
Ah.
a look. Look, here it is. Here you go. See,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. You got it? You got it?
Yeah,
All right, cool. Awesome.
delicious.
Enjoy, man.
Thank you.
They are.
Oh wait, I was supposed to
My
do
favorite
this.
flavor.
I was supposed to take it.
Yeah.
From the other angle, down to the other angle.
Oh no, it changed into a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That's green.
The magic of the internet.
Let's
Thank you,
green.
Old Man Bird.
We'll edit that
Very much
middle part
appreciated.
out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Does it make a
We'll
good
put
mix
that
with
on the
scotch?
Patreon.
It's to kill the pain.
But Scotty, it's a painless procedure. Oh, you should
Now
told
you
me
tell
sooner.
me.
Something like that. I thought that was funny. And
No, but it
thanks
is-
everybody
it
for
is-
being here. It's
Yeah.
I'm almost through the chats. I just want to make sure to say hi to James Caserta, Tiger Stripes. Don't want to miss you. And I look good with a shaved head, says Matthew Eagle, but it's too much work just to stay. And there it is. I think we said hi to everybody. Max Redstone. Oh no, Scotty. He will never stop feeling guilt over young Franklin losing his life at the hands of that transporter nugget. That's true. That's why when they say, wow, it was such success for you to survive in that transporter. And he said, only 50% of a success.
Yeah.
Because he lost Franklin. So you're right.
Well, that's, you know what? Now, okay, so are we through the chat? Because I'd like to address
Yes, we are.
Relics
We are.
Franklin. Here's the deal. Once Scotty is rematerialized after 75 years, ballpark, and he says, I bet Jim Kirk brought the Enterprise just to find me. I do kind of allow that to be transporter dysplasia. It's like the Enterprise and its associative psychology, where he's like, the Enterprise, Jim Kirk got rescued, sounds right. Like, even though he did see James Kirk die, quote unquote, in generations,
There is
I
a
think that
possibility.
when he is rescued from the
Dyson sphere.
Janolan, it is a certain level of being woken up and being like Enterprise. I think there is associative psychology going on there, and it is left ambiguously with the punchline from that as being like when he is sort of shaken out of it by seeing Worf. And it's like Klingons.
That's a big culture shock for him.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's no, never mind. I'm leaving it alone. Go on.
Well, there's also the possibility that he could have believed that Kirk had cheated death on multiple occasions in the past, that it's possible he came back. I mean, look
Well,
at,
it's not like Scotty hasn't seen a resurrection before.
Exactly. And so that's just one of those things of the generations in his Kirk's supposed death. You know, that didn't get filmed until after that episode was made. And you know how they'll retcon stuff all the time. So
Yeah, but he was Ron Moore was working on the movie and he wrote Relics. He should have known better.
true.
I bet Jim Cook himself hauled the old gal out of mothballs to come looking for me.
Because it does. It falls into that whole rule of cool, you know?
Although the
And-
transporter is magic, maybe he just like got a little bit of transporter amnesia.
I also kind of like the fact that Scotty calls James Tiberius Kirk Jim Kirk because they're friends. I like that. It's a character moment.
But do we ever actually hear Scotty call him anything other than Cotton?
He does say Jim, I think twice to his face.
Yeah, it's usually
Maybe
whenever they were in
once.
private.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
In private, casual.
Totally. Like
that's how
peers
in
as
the
opposed
military.
to subordinates or what have you.
Because I know in the military,
oh shit,
even among officers and enlisted, when we were in the military, if we were not in a formal situation, i.e., we weren't in uniform or we were somewhere in private, we could have that conversation where we would be calling each other by whatever it was we wanted to be called by.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people actually use my name of Richard or Rich. Hell, I went by Spake almost exclusively for the longest time. It was only family members that called me Alvin because that's what I went by as a child. And that's how you can tell if somebody is genuinely really close in your inner circle. Heck, my middle name has been used as a code in my family for proof that, hey, this is real, a real communication. So
well, I loved Relics, so we reviewed Relics on this channel, so I have a lot of clips from it. Maybe I'll play a few here.
I'll say this about your enterprise: the doctors are a fair sight prettier.
But thanks.
Damn it, Scotty! I'm a doctor, not a model.
Thanks, Alvin, for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if for those who want to know where Simon and Theodore are at, I have no idea. Last I heard, they were in Fiji snorting coke off of hookers' belly buttons after they stole all of the money.
Hookers? What happened to the Chipettes?
That joke was on my tongue, but I was like, no, that's too corny to say. But you knew I was thinking it.
Honestly,
which one?
Yeah. About Simon and Theodore, because I've been dealing with that since
I was talking about the Chipettes.
Literally since I was in elementary school.
Honestly, Spake, when you said Alvin, my immediate thought was named after York.
Yes, I was actually named. My middle name Alvin is the same middle name as my grandfather, who was Wilbur Alvin Spake, and he was named for the man who saved his father's life in World War I, and that was Sergeant Alvin York.
Makes sense.
He was a sergeant, right?
Oh God, that's actually pretty relevant. Oh, was he? Wait,
Sergeant York,
World War I.
It's slightly relevant because Montgomery comes from James Doohan's grandpa, who was I guess a captain on some kind of vessel somewhere in the world. I have it in my notes somewhere, but I'm too excited to find it this moment.
Yeah, all right.
But it's kind of relevant in that way.
Well, and it is
change the laws of physics, I told him, but he wouldn't believe me.
I love that in Relics he's just like telling all these old stories that are like, oh, those are great Star Trek episodes, but nobody's interested.
Which I don't know. I mean, you'd think that they had been taught the original Enterprise missions in Academy, so they know the missions. But this is a guy who was there. I'm like, it didn't make sense to me. Their complete dismissal of his stories.
One of the things
in Relics.
Yeah, the way
I called him Brats.
The way the crew kept acting bored when he was telling his stories.
Yeah, that right there is one of the things that.
Oh, this song. Sorry.
It literally lowered my opinion of LaForge was how he came across in Relics. of how
Yeah, but it got
dismissive-
better though, especially with LaForge. They ended up working together, and LaForge was like, "No, the specification says it should be this," and he said, "Who do you think wrote that?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And
However, I don't, and just to push back a little bit, and in defense of Geordie LaForge, is based on his hero worship of Zephram Cochrane in First Contact, based on his intellectual attraction to Leah Brahms, he is much more a theorist. He is much more willing to give over his hypothesis to the computer to have it, and based on his friendship with Data, like he wants to find out the specific before he enacts it. And Scotty, being in, the forefront of exploration, and how do you get to explore with engines? Do they break? Yup, all the time. Same as Trip. And it's like, okay, so we got to fix this. Oh, right, I forgot. I have to fix this to the specifications of the captain. So even though he doesn't know what I can do, I have to make it so that I can do what he wants. And
I have spent my whole life trying to figure out crazy ways of doing things.
Precisely. Geordie is hypothetical with an outcome, and Scotty is a guy who is like, so what do I have? He's a galactic MacGyver.
Yeah. Duct tape, spit, and baling wire.
Boom. Science.
yeah, the closest I ever come to seeing that again in Star Trek is when Rom uses a spatula to fix something. There, when he fixed it.
But that's, yeah. Like, I just adore the innovation that Scotty provides without hesitation. He's like, I can't do it. Oh, I did it. I love that. He makes it happen. And I don't care if it's plot wise, but you start to believe in the character. It's like when Dr. McCoy, as an analogy, is like, Jim, I'm thinking I'm capable of curing a rainy day. And Scotty does that, like, that's his job. Scotty cures rainy days all the time.
Scotty, you're a miracle worker.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of Scott, Mr. Scott. He was the one that came through at the last minute, except for once, and that was because Spock was manning the guns of the bird of prey instead of the transporter. It was Mr. Scott who was manning the transporter in Star Trek 5.
It was. Yeah.
Maddie's daddy
Bill,
says Clobby would know. I don't know what the question is that Clobby would know the answer to. What's the question? Maddie's daddy, if you could repeat it, because I missed the question. I want to know. Yeah, but whatever. It doesn't matter what the question is. You're probably right. You're definitely right. It's good. Clobby would know. Scotty could have put that arrogant Barbara, Mr. Mott. Look, Barbara? What?
Barber.
I don't know what Max's name.
Scotty could have put.
Oh, the barber. Yeah, the barber, Mr. Mott. That was the civilian male Bolian that was always there to do Picard's haircuts.
Oh, the blue guy. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was only in. I think they've only showed him like 2 or 3 times during the entire Next Generation. And so yeah, that's definitely a deep dive of lore knowledge.
Hey, Maddie's daddy. Sorry to interrupt. Maddie's daddy. Clobby would know if Scotty called Kirk Jim. Yes, he would. Actually, Clobby would know how many times I already told you that he did.
Yep. And LDG. Freely is here.
LDG.
Happy Friday. Oh, I forgot. Scott, I totally forgot to play your
No,
video.
it's cool. It's cool. But if you play it, I'll be okay.
Okay. So, yeah, why not?
And if you can't believe it, it's a Friday once again.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
No, but it is. And maybe it's part of a dream.
I don't
It's
believe it.
always Tuesday in David Lynch's worlds.
Nope, not going to believe it. Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's wonderful. Good stuff. And the interview, yeah. Okay,
It was always fun how Scotty was the chief engineer, but was also the transporter chief when in Next Generation, O'Brien went from being the transporter chief to being the chief engineer.
Oh, it's such a tough fight for me internally. Who's my favorite chief engineer? Is it Scotty or is it Miles?
Miles was chief of operations, but essentially, yes, the same job. But
and so I have to ask myself the question, and I kind of put them on par every time. I don't even have a time of day. It's like, who's your favorite engineer? And it's like, well, Scotty and Miles.
And why wasn't there a chief engineer on Babylon 5?
Because they stole the chief engineer from Babylon 5 to make Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know.
And James Doohan's book. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Richard.
On a space station like Deep Space Nine, the chief of operations combines both the operations department and the engineering department.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's why I said same thing.
But it makes sense to me.
The actual,
still didn't have one of those though.
Word. And so the book is called his autobiography is called Scotty Beam Me Up, right? And so
I thought it was called Beam Me Up Scotty.
Oh, Beam Me Up Scotty, that's it. Because that's the misquote. That's a misquote that was never in Star Trek, and the closest we got was Scotty Beam Me Up in Star Trek 4.
Beam Up.
No, it was Beam Me Up. Beam Me Up in Star Trek 4, yes. Beam Us Up is somewhere else. So we've got a few others where he does say Scotty Beam Us Up in the original series. Gamesters of Triskelion, the Savage Curtain. And then in This Side of Paradise, he says, beam me up. And in Cloudbinders, Kirk says, Mr. Scott, beam us up. So that's where you're getting that from.
Oh, I just had a brain bubble.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Be dangerous?
I'm so sorry. It is a little dangerous.
Is it going to cause a brain fart?
No. And so there have been in the history of Earth many Star Trek actors to have passed away, and some of them have been cremated. Now, James Doohan went to space.
Yes, he did.
Was he the first, or was he after Gene?
I believe he preceded Gene.
Preceded Gene.
Yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong.
All right, we got to look this up. I will look this up. Now, out of all of them, and this is not to take away from anyone else, but out of all of the Star Trek cast, Shatner is the only one who has gone to suborbital while alive. Right?
I know he
Yes,
is,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes, that's right. He's the only one to get to space technically for like 1 minute.
Sure. Same as Katy Perry.
Yeah, same. Well, but Katy Perry wasn't in Star Trek, so I don't care as much.
Well, that was last Friday night.
I could not have been more wrong. The remains of Gene Roddenberry were the first to go to space on the Space Shuttle Columbia in October 92, and then later sent to Earth orbit in a Pegasus rocket in April 97.
Okay. But the thing is I think that there is no better tribute in terms of posthumously going to space. Something that is not a pleasure cruise at this point, as I mentioned, in jest, Katy Perry. But like
a portion of James Doohan's ashes were secretly smuggled onto the ISS by a private space tourist in 2008. But his remains were officially launched into orbit on a Falcon 1 rocket in 2012.
What? They had private space tourists in 2008?
I guess.
Yes. Believe it or not, that was how the Russian space program was able to afford a whole lot of stuff. Was the fact that really, really rich people were bankrolling space shots. That was how they were able to do it. If you don't believe me, you can quickly Google it.
I believe you.
Because those news stories was a big deal back then when this was happening. Because we were joking about it back in the day, that was the only way that the Russians was able to keep their space program operating. Hell, when the Soviet Union fell, there was a bunch of Soviet cosmonauts that was stuck up in orbit because there wasn't enough money to get them to come down, and the Russians were a little too proud to ask for help from the United States.
Not the Russians.
And somebody basically, I can't remember who it was, but they ended up finally helping them get the ability to get them down and get a new replacement crew up there.
Oh, that's good.
So the station wouldn't be unmanned and basically lose its orbit and fall back into Earth.
Which is a danger on many Star Trek episodes.
Lieutenant Hadley, check the language banks and find out what a heater is.
Yeah. See, that's such a good Scotty episode. Is a piece of the action just him misunderstanding vernacular? I love it.
He thinks he's an expert by the end.
You got nothing. You mind your place, mister, or you'll be wearing concrete galoshes.
You mean cement overshoes?
That's it.
So I just Old Man Bird in the chat said something, and I want to throw my hat in the ring to dueling impressions. So I'm going to try this, Jill. I apologize in advance. In the style of Carl Sagan, Old Man Bird says, "We are all stardust." And in the style of Yoda, "Luminous beings are we." Thank you.
One thing that always drives me crazy about Yoda speak is if you watch Empire, only like 40% of his lines are backwards. The rest are all straight up.
It's all when he's trying to be a goofy weirdo, and
not all, but again, most of his lines in Empire are straight up. I cannot train this boy. Like that's
why you failed.
Yeah, that is why you fail. There's just so many straight up lines, and then after episode 1, it was just ridiculous. After that,
well, remember,
everybody, don't forget to go to the theater this weekend and watch The Mandalorian and Grogu with a baby Yoda who doesn't talk.
Mango and guac? No thanks.
I thought Groglet. I like
Baby,
Groglet.
why is this a 50-year-old baby who still doesn't talk? Yeah, okay.
Isn't he
That's
60
annoying.
now?
It could be traumatic mutism, but who knows? I mean, that I don't think
What
the
if they
writers even know.
You know what? We need the Chipettes of Grogu. We need the Grogettes.
Well,
We
if
need
my
a
mom
lady
was still
baby,
alive-
lady baby Grogu.
Max wants wants me to say something. I can actually do this a lot better than in Scotty quote. Oh, Miles.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Well, guys, I've got to run. The HVAC dude should be here any minute
Oh,
now.
good. That's great news for you. Okay, so is there anything, if you got a minute, can you tell us anything else you wanted to share about James Doohan that you didn't get to say yet, and promote anything you like?
Well, James Doohan, to me, in many ways, he was the star. He was the heart of the original series cast. He embodied a lot of the ideals of the original series. Especially behind the scenes, the stuff that he did, and whenever they made the animated show, he did the voice of so many characters.
Yep.
I mean, it was amazing.
53, 57? Yeah.
He was gifted. The man was gifted. He had a pair of cojones on him the size of basketballs. Well, no, not basketballs. Those big muscle balls that you see people bouncing
Medicine
on.
balls. Yeah. He should have seen a doctor.
The man,
it explains the wheelchair, the balls.
The thing was his were made of brass.
Yes.
Yep. Adamantium. The man had a pair, man. The things that he would do in his youth and even as he got older, dude was badass. He was on the same level of badassery that Christopher Lee was on. And anybody who knows Christopher Lee was the dude that inspired his cousin Ian Fleming to create James Bond. And hell, there's stuff that Christopher Lee did during World War II that is still classified to this day.
Release the Christopher Lee files.
Yeah. And it's almost 100. It's been almost. It'll be 100 years, and they still won't declassify them. And I'm telling you, man, that the generation that James Doohan came from, the reason why they were such good, solid actors is the fact that they had done something in their life. They had experienced real life, and they did not get a swollen head over it. They were humble, and they knew the most basic fact that the only reason why they were famous and why they were making money by playing pretend was because of us. So he did state that was the big reason why he loved the fans so much, was the fact that he knew that's where all of his success came from. The man was the GOAT. You know, he was the GOAT. That's the best way of putting it. And
Absolutely
I'm
agreed.
sorry I was only able to bounce in for a little bit. But hey, I've got to get my air conditioner fixed. This hurts.
Please do. Yeah, I've been through that
it'll
myself.
be good for everybody. Yeah, everybody involved will be pleased.
Be cool.
You're right, and we're going to talk about what you just said in greater detail.
Indeed.
Thank you. And I love you guys. Please talk more about the stuff you love with amongst each other. Share these things. Show people why Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and Lord of the Rings means so much to you. Don't talk about, you can hint on why you don't like the new stuff, but focus on what it is you love about these properties. It's
Amen.
only by showing why it matters to us that we love it, that we grew up with it, and that we're coming at this from a deep, abiding sense of love for the setting. And we don't like seeing people mess with it who don't understand it. It's only by doing that I think that we're going to bridge the gap that has come about and make things better. And remember, it's by sharing the stuff we love with others that we bring people together. And when you speak about what you love about things, you can't help but pull other people in. They'll see that love and they'll want to know why and what about it is so awesome. And if you tell them what makes it so awesome for you, they might get curious and go look at all the old stuff that we love so much. And they'll actually get to see when it was good and demand it too.
That's why you make a really good guest on this channel, Richard Spake. That is exactly what my channel's all about too. And check him out over here on American Patriots Pad. He also talks about other stuff too besides pop culture, and he has some good fireside chats. Thank you.
And anybody, if you guys ever want to come on fireside chats, we do it on Wednesday nights at 6 Eastern Standard Time. Y'all all have a place by the fire. All I ask is y'all grab a couple of handfuls of the Kit Kat bars that's in the big buckets and barrels. We got about 7 tons left that we got to get rid of.
Oh, you're the one who stole them.
Maybe.
Oh, give me a break.
He said 7 tons. How else would he? He's up on the
I have to say hello to Mark D with the C, who says he's lurking while he's at work, dropping a like. Thank you so much, Mark D with the C. And if anybody out there is listening and they have a Rumble account, go say hi to me on Rumble. I need 5 more unique listeners for the month. It's like a Rumble creator thing.
I've already watched this month, so I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not unique.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're not. You don't have to go to the chat, Scott, because you already did. You only have to show up one time a month at Rumble. And Tim FKHC 2005 does say, "Hail here." Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you, Richard Spake. And gosh, it means so much to me that you showed up today, and that FKHC is here, and Mark D with the C.
Well, take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Cheers.
Be blessed, and remember, you're never alone, and you are most definitely loved by somebody, even if it is by a broken old fool like me. Y'all be good.
Well, that's always lovely to have him on. And Tim, speaking of Tim, thank you so much for saying hi on Rumble. And also look at this. He sent me this. He sent me this right here. Let me move that.
Oh no.
And he says
no bloody A, B, C, or D.
And the holodeck it gets confused and sees me. Tim, you're bad. It's terrible.
What is the bliss?
It's funny though.
That's anyway. I don't want to talk about
it. And it is only because of Scotty and that old show that anyone my age knows what a Jeffries tube is.
Right, named after Matt Jeffries.
Mm-hmm.
But one time I made the mistake of going on the Orville page and saying, "Man, those are some nice looking Jeffries tubes," and they're like, "No, you can't say that." Shh.
That reminds me of the time that I went to the Nicolas Cage subreddit, and someone had posted something, and I was like, "Oh, Nicolas Cage," but I spelled it NICHOLAS. And then people were like, it was something like, "How can I praise Nicolas Cage harder?" And it was like, you can start by spelling his name properly. And I was like, fuck, I am backing away. Sorry. You are right, I responded.
Larry here,
Larry.
absolutely correct. Matt Jeffries made the Enterprise, and he drew so many Enterprises because he didn't really know what Gene wanted, and so he was just drawing everything. And of course,
Well, the
drawing on
Enterprise
his
was supposed to be upside down.
drawing on his experience as an actual aeronautical engineer. So yeah, upside down.
Well, it was. It was supposed to be the saucer on the bottom and the rockets at the top.
Yep.
Hmm.
And they flipped it, and it looked better.
It does. It does look better when you turn it the right way around now.
Now, one thing I didn't know about James until recently was that he actually contributed to the initial development of the Klingon and Vulcan languages.
Oh yes, he absolutely did. And yeah, the Vulcan also. Like I knew about the Klingon, but sometimes I forget about the Vulcan part. And of course they had who's the linguist who came in and turned into a fully fledged language?
Mark Okrand.
Mark Okrand, thank you. And
but
James Doohan started it off.
The whole problem for Okrand was Star Trek 6. Because Okrand created the Klingon language not to have the verb to be. He made the language entirely active. You could never have passive, and they had to have the Klingon say to be or not to be. And he's like, they can't. It's not a word in Klingon. And they're like, well, make it.
Yeah, I heard that, but how did they get around it?
Because basically,
so what is the Klingon? If I were to directly translate to be or not to,
you couldn't the way Okrand.
So what is the closest translation? There are words in different languages that don't directly translate.
But that's the thing. There really is no translation because of how he created the language. Like you would not say he is the captain. You would simply say he captain. I mean that's essentially how the language worked. Because you have to realize.
So what does
basically makes
tahpe mean?
He made it up whole cloth.
It was but what does it mean? It's gibberish.
Well, it's gibberish that means to be or not to be. Yeah.
It sounds close enough to be or not to be, but there is no direct translation.
No.
It is a close approximation to
I'm sure
Terran English.
Yeah.
And this is why if you go to a Star Trek convention, there are Klingon Shakespeare panels because of this very conversation.
And then I get beat up with a batleth.
Franco Walker says, I'm too tired to focus. I'll catch up tomorrow. And good night, Franco Walker.
Cheers.
You're one of the reasons why I was upset I had to push my stream late, but the kids coming out of school. This was the last day of school, so they got out early, so I couldn't stream at my normal time.
It's a long weekend.
Yeah, well, long weekend that's gonna last all summer. But anyway, I'll see you around.
That is a very long weekend, though.
Yeah.
Goodbye, darling.
Jill, may I excuse myself for a moment?
Sure, of course.
I got to meet Yvonne Craig at a convention in Jersey back in, had to be around 2000. And that she was the green woman in that scene we just saw. She was telling me about the book she had written, which was I think it was titled "I Am the Green Girl," and she had originally had herself on the cover as the Green Woman from Star Trek, and then one night before it was published, she woke up in a sweat and realized, no one knows I was the Green Girl. Everyone knows me as Batgirl. So she quickly called her publisher and had them change the picture to her as Batgirl for the cover. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But that just shows that she really liked her time on Star Trek. So hopefully, oh man, I hope she included that somewhere in the book.
She was such a wonderful lady to talk with.
Nice. That's awesome. Really, really cool. And I want to thank the people who went over to Rumble to say hi to me. And Mark D with the C says hi from Rumble, and Ages Flow says thanks, Jill, with the Vulcan salute. Thank you guys. I don't know see how many, if it tells me in real time how many more I need. Let's see if that got me any. I need 17. Okay, so I just need three more people to go to Rumble and say hi, and I'll be done for the month. For whatever reason, you have to have 20 unique chatters over there to get monetized for
Oh,
the
wow.
month. Yeah. I mean, because obviously everybody's monetized on Rumble. You just go on Rumble and you get pennies. But the creator program gives you a few more pennies than normal. Yvonne Craig was a regular on Dobby Kills. Does anybody know about that? I guess not. Richard Spake says, over here on Rumble, saying howdy. Thank you, Richard Spake. I very much appreciated.
That was Dobie Gillis. I know of the show, but I've never seen it.
Obviously, I don't know anything
It's
about
a black and white show. I know that.
50s or 60s?
Yeah, 50s.
Mm.
Let me see.
Very cool, very cool. And just so
Dobie
many wonderful things. I don't want to skip anything, so I'm going to find out where I am in
Well,
the chat here.
One thing about James Doohan choosing the name Montgomery for his grandfather.
Yes.
Someone pointed out, well, yeah, but your middle name is also Montgomery, and he said, yeah, but I wasn't thinking about that.
Right. He was naming it specifically for his grandfather, who actually worked on a ship.
Okay,
but his whole life, James Doohan was obsessed with things that went, like boats and trains and all these things when he was a boy.
That's what I thought. This was what's his name? Bob Denver. Gilligan. It was his first show. He was Dobie's friend. Dobie was played by Dwayne Hickman.
Yeah. I would put the Rumble chat on the shared screen, except I do have a slideshow going. But I am very glad to see you guys over there on Rumble. I see Richard Spake saying hello to Small Time Republic. 1776. Ooh, I do like the 1776 there. And I hope you're having a blessed day, says Richard Spake, and that is nice. Larry is there too. Hello, Larry. Next Redstone says, let's get ready to rumble.
On the bowl of rum.
Nice. That's very good. Yeah, and if you do invest in Rumble, I'm not saying anybody needs to invest in Rumble, but I think it is RUM, so it is rum. And Dobie Gillis was the show, so Classic Comics is going to educate me. Dobie Gillis was the show where Bob Denver Gilligan, got his start. He played Maynard Krebs, Dobie's lazy friend, who Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is based on.
Yeah, if you take a look, if you just Google it, you'll see his picture. You'll be like, wow, that's totally Shaggy.
Shaggy,
the hair,
very
the
neat.
little chin beard, the skinny body. It's just he just embodies Shaggy.
Oh yes, definitely. Okay, so I'll have to look at that sometime when I'm not talking about James Doohan. But speaking of which, there is, since I mentioned him, I do want to look at a few of his pictures. So let's look at some of his family photos. Like, these are pictures from the book. Scotty, beam me up. And here it is. So wait, but not this one though. This one is I haven't talked about it yet. Of course, he lost his finger. Everybody knows he lost his finger, and during the course of Star Trek, he made sure that nobody knew about it. Like, he tried, but it didn't always work. And in some cases, like here, you can very clearly see his finger's missing right there.
Not right now, we can't.
Oh, that's right.
There we go.
Marx is covering it.
Yeah, normally he would wear a flesh-colored glove with a fake finger there.
Yeah. But here you could say, I don't know, maybe a Tribble's eating it.
Well, also remember back then when this was aired, no one had things like VCRs. You couldn't pause it. It would have taken an eagle-eyed person watching to notice that.
Yeah, I wonder if they did notice it back then. Who was the first person to notice this?
Yeah, it was after the landing in on D-Day. Fortunately, James, being part of the Canadian Army, they got Juno Beach. I don't know how many people know this, but Utah and Omaha, where the Americans landed, were where most of the defenses were centered.
Mhm.
Juno did have defenses. They did have 2 hours of fighting to clear the beach, but it only took them 2 hours.
Yeah, and somehow James Doohan and his troop.
Why
he
are
was
they
a leader.
always multiplying?
He was
Lieutenant.
only
Estimates by 3.
he was only in his early 20s, and he was already an officer. He was a lieutenant because he went to officer school, and they didn't want to pass him because he looked too young. They figured soldiers just wouldn't follow him because he was too baby faced, but then finally they had to pass him because he got the highest marks on his officer test, and yeah, so he does eventually lead troops across the beach and get behind the dunes to relative safety and find a couple of German snipers and take them both out. I think he tried to get somebody else to do it, but they couldn't do it, and so he was like, I know how to shoot this gun. And that was the first time he had actually taken a life like that, which was like, oh, did I kill them?
Yeah,
it was something.
He took out 2 snipers, then led his men through a field of anti-tank mines, which are not a threat to civilians unless the civilian happens to weigh 50 tons.
And that was later in
James
Doohan's career.
Not civilians, infantry, I mean. But it was that first night that he was crossing between command posts, and some nervous sentry had a machine gun tripod that he just opened fire on Doohan, and he was hit with 6 rounds, 4 in the leg, 1 in the chest, and 1 through his right middle finger. The 1 in the chest was only stopped by a silver cigarette case given to him by his brother.
Yes.
In which case, and this is the punchline. Do you want to do the punchline?
Smoking saved James Doohan's life.
Womp womp.
It's true.
I knew you were going to say it, so I let you say it.
It was the best part of the story.
It is. Juno has high cliffs, says Pleasant Valley Picker. The sad. Oh, okay. Class Comics was going to say something, but he rescinded it, so I won't read it. But no, this is a great part of his life. This is because he had a he seemed to have a partially good childhood, but also a partially bad childhood because of an alcoholic father who was very angry a lot all the time. So he would have to listen to his dad yelling for most of the night until he could finally, if he slept. I don't know how much that kid got to sleep.
Well, and
when he grew up, like if your main avenue of escape is let me join the army so I can fight Hitler, then yeah, maybe there was a few problems at home. Go ahead.
Well, I really admire the fact that sorry, the whole swirling thing. I had a point and I forgot.
Oh, sorry.
It's a common.
I'm sorry if I.
It's a common story though with abused kids. I mean, my father had an abusive father, and he escaped by joining the military. That was after World War II. He joined on the very last day of the Korean War GI Bill. Served 8 years and mustered out a couple of months before activities happened in a little place you probably never heard of called Vietnam.
I've been there.
Yeah, my grandpa was in Vietnam too,
and Saigon.
And my grandpa could have been in the Air Force because he was really smart, but all his friends were in the Marines, so he joined them in the Marines, did the tank stuff and everything, and he saw so many of his friends pass away because of that.
But I think that is part of the reason why there is such a connection to not only the character, but the show and the fandom when it comes to James Doohan, is that he did really develop a friendship with Gene Roddenberry, who was a policeman and a pilot who did bombing missions. Did he do bombing missions? I'm not sure. But
Scotty didn't do.
No, but Gene did.
Oh, Gene did. But Scotty was a pilot, but he didn't do the weapons. He was like, oh, this this is a nice plane, but it doesn't have any way to shoot anything. But,
Well, he treated, from what I understand, he treated his airplanes like hot rods.
Yeah,
as
he
you
did.
do.
He did tricks. He did tricks and everything. Oh,
Like I heard he
wow.
slalomed down a hill and then pulled up to get out of this, like he was belly on a mountain, and then pulled up, and then unfortunately he didn't pull up enough, and so he crashed into some power lines or a telephone pole or something.
Crashed?
Yeah. And everyone
I'll get
was
to
just
those
like,
parts of my notes to see if I agree with that.
Sure,
I don't remember
sure.
the crashing part, but yeah, he did. They called him the craziest pilot, and so
Yeah,
so for a reason,
slaloming between posts.
like he also would get very, very close to vehicles just to
slaloming means something different when you're in an airplane. It's not you're actually skiing.
It means weaving between.
Yeah. No,
and
you're right.
And he got a serious reprimand for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was fearless.
And a classic comic
I guess
says
that's what happens when you get to
about,
Juno Beach and
about his
make it through.
Injuries is that they were friendly fire. Yeah, at first the only thing he noticed was his finger deteriorated. He was just like, okay, it's just my finger. I'm gonna go get this fixed. Like he was really because the whole time he's in the war, he's thinking, focus on the job, focus on getting the job done. And when his finger blows off, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go get this fixed so I can get back to my men, because he is super sensitive to protecting the men whose lives he's in charge of. He took that super seriously in terms of like, yeah, these men will be alive because I am here to help them. And but when he got injured, he didn't realize that was it. He was done, because he didn't just get his finger blown off, he got shot in the legs. And of course, as we mentioned, how he thought, oh, how did I get shot in the chest and I'm still breathing? And yes, it was that cigarette case, which was amazing gift from his brother.
You know
that
what
wasn't the only gift he had.
Yes. You know what the downside was?
What's the downside?
All the cigarettes were broken.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that. You're absolutely right. Juno had high cliffs. Yeah. Okay.
So
I just got shot a bunch. I could use a smoke. Oh, no.
So the bullet potentially saved his life.
Well, the cigarettes.
Cigarette case, yeah.
No, but the bullet potentially saved his life by breaking the cigarettes.
Oh, well, because
he couldn't possibly have gotten any more cigarettes after that.
Not in World War II.
He blames quitting smoking for his weight gain.
It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people.
I'm gonna grow a mustache and get fat as soon as I quit smoking.
The mustache required.
Yes.
That wasn't the only.
Remember in Star Trek 4? Mr. Nichols has the badge that says "I quit smoking," and I think that James Doohan did it way better when he was just like, the sign of a person who has quit smoking is a man with a mustache, because then nicotine can no longer stain his facial hair.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, that's kind of funny.
I'm making it up.
I kind of like. Well, I like his military career. I actually do, because before he was at D-Day, he did other stuff. He was actually waiting around a whole lot, because they weren't actually. They deployed the Canadian troops, but they didn't really use them for anything. And while he was waiting around, he learned Morse code. He became a signaler. He did lots of really cool stuff. He is essentially
my grandfather
a communications officer. Oh, really? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you there's this little bit here that I say where if you want to know how much of a gentleman he is, I learned that since when you're in the military, you learn to curse a lot, but he was trying to do his best not to do it in public, but he did, and he did it in front of a lady. He got embarrassed and he fell down and he grabbed her breasts accidentally.
Oh God!
So then he was even more embarrassed and he ran away from that situation. He put that in the book if you want to read it. The way he writes it.
How long is that? How many pages is the book?
250, so it's not that long.
It's so breezy.
Shorter than The Hobbit.
Yeah, shorter than The Hobbit. Yeah.
I mean height-wise or page count?
Only because I only started yesterday. Did I not finish it? because I was also doing other stuff to prepare.
You what? You were doing? Oh, how dare you!
Yeah, well, other stuff for the stream, also cooking for my children and things like that.
Excuses, excuses.
Yeah.
Let me guess. You
Yeah.
went to sleep last night, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did sleep.
So selfish.
This is how you teach your children to read. You give them Jim Doohan's autobiography to your daughter, and you say, "Read it to me." And every time she's something wrong, I don't know.
Funny thing is, you were mentioning he was a signal officer when he was learning acting in New York City at the neighborhood playhouse. Three of his notable classmates were Leslie Nielsen, Richard Boone, and Tony Randall. Tony Randall during World War II was in the Signal Corps.
Oh, no way. That's great.
Yeah, the Canadian Signal Corps.
And Leslie Nielsen obviously was a friend. They became friends, and James Doohan in the early days would help him out financially a whole lot because he was really down on his luck and scraping by. And so then the tables turned later in his life when he got his divorce, and Leslie Nielsen was like, "I know you don't like being alone. Come live with me," and everything. And so they helped each other. I think it's really sweet.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a really good friendship.
Oh, wait.
And it was fun to read about.
James Doohan was married like 4 times, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
4 or
the 4th
5
one
times.
stuck. The last one stuck.
The 4th one stuck, but he married her.
He was 54.
She was a fan.
She was 18.
Yeah.
She was a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, he met her when she was 17, and then after she turned 18, they married the year they met.
So, okay. So here's what I'm asking. My name is Scotty. I'm almost 50. Do you think I can get away with marrying a 20-year-old who's a Star Trek fan?
If she loves you.
If you can get away with it, man,
if it's
hey, why not?
consensual, of course.
Yeah, it's got to, obviously. You know that part. If she's a fully grown woman and she has her head together and she knows what she's doing with life.
They had 4 kids together.
She wants you, then why not?
Like Jimmy and his wife.
Well, that was an earlier wife.
How many years?
17 years.
Yeah. So there was love there.
That was the first.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the first wife though. That one they got a divorce. But the kids, he didn't have any kids with the 18-year-old. It was that was already done. I think
that was all right.
No, he had 3 children with her. Eric.
Oh my God, did he have 7 kids?
Yep. And Sarah
Holy
was born.
crap, I didn't realize.
Sarah was born when he was 80.
Holy crap. Okay. So I didn't get that far in the autobiography.
Did he mention that James Doohan was friends with Tony Randall?
He was classmates with him. It didn't say
Tony Randall notoriously had children at an advanced age.
Gavin says no 20-year-olds for Scotty are 37. I don't know why.
Sounds like Gavin has a daughter. No, wait.
Here's the thing. I had always hoped that I would find the right girl and have kids. I am now 57. I have yet to find the right girl. And I've realized if I have a child, let's say I meet the right girl tomorrow, get married to her in, say, 6 months, we have a child 9 months later, I will be 58, close to 59 maybe, when that child is born. That puts me at 76 or 77 when that first child is graduating high school. Am I even still alive?
No.
Not according to the actuarial tables. I'm not going to do that. So now I'm just looking for a woman who may already have children. It's irresponsible of me to become a father at this age.
If I may take a sidebar, because I brought this up. But the thing is that it's a different situation now. Like you can do a Michael Keaton My Life, make your videos for your child. You can bring a child into the world because, meeting a woman, loving a woman, and bringing a life into the world through love that's a positive. And you now have the best form of communication in the history of communication as to how you want to sort of talk about your life and give life lessons to a child that may not know you. Yeah, you're never going to see your kid graduate college or get married. Doesn't mean that your kid should be dismissed before conception. I don't know. I think people used to say that. Don't do it. Don't get old and have a baby. And it's like, well, you can still raise a baby.
Yeah.
Yes, I can find a woman who has kids.
People. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, already.
Ding.
You got a built-in legacy there. So also on Rumble, Richard Spake says the Scooby-Doo gang were all characters inspired from Dobie Gillis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. Because I was going to ask where Velma comes from.
I'm Fred.
I'm Shaggy, and I don't even do weed.
Oh, I can drive. So
well, technically, neither does Shaggy. Even though they make the jokes, we never actually see him light up. It's a kid's show.
True.
So
yeah, but I've seen Scooby hit the bong.
Really?
No, not really.
Okay. Richard Spake says the guy who played Radar O'Reilly had a deformed hand, and they hit it well on MASH.
Oh.
And Larry says Juno had gold beaches. That is
Robert Downey Jr. is 4'1".
Gold Beach was another of the beaches at Normandy.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of which, like I was saying, James Doohan was a young leader, but it wasn't easy for him. The older men under his command wouldn't follow his orders, and he was very sensitive to that situation because they're life or death situations. If you're not a good commanding officer who your troops will follow, you're going to have a bad time. And he knew this. So the first thing he tried to do was go to his commanding officer to try to get help. All he did was get transferred, and now he seems like a troublemaker. Like, oh, we're not sure if he's going to be such a good officer now. So at this point, he realizes he's got to take matters into his own hands. And oh goodness, and what he does is so good. He goes and he's going to do tank training with somebody, and he puts tape all over the periscopes, and he doesn't tell anybody what he's done because the person under his command is supposed to check the tank for anything that is obscuring the periscopes or anything like that. So if his men are actually doing their job, they would have noticed the tape. He didn't notice the tape, and so Scotty James has him do it anyway. So okay, it's too late now. You can't get the tape off, and so he says, "I'm going to tell you how to go left, go right, do this, do that." And he does it. He manages to do it without running anybody over, which I guess maybe that could have been a dangerous thing. But
they wouldn't have had anyone to run over in the training session, but yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I remember. Mind went when I heard this story. And so this is how he gained the respect of his men, and it worked out. And that cigarette case was not the only gift that he got from his brother. He also got a Smith & Wesson gun, which when they were actually there at D-Day, there was one guy that he didn't know that was now under his command who was not listening to any of his orders. And this time, instead of being like the tape in the periscope was clever, but this was just like he just used his gun and he threatened him. It worked.
Yeah, there's positional authority and there's personal authority. Threatening him with the gun asserts personal authority.
Yeah. I'd never thought I'd read that kind of thing from James Doohan. And you know what? From that experience, that experience actually shaped him as an actor. When he became an actor, he decided he did not want to be a director because he was done ordering people around.
Huh. Good for him.
Oh, Jill, I forgot my favorite non-Star Trek Gene Roddenberry, James Doohan movie. And so I have to go get it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
No.
So I'll be back in a second.
No, you don't have to. No.
I do have to.
You do not. No,
Should-
Scott. No.
Should I be afraid?
You should absolutely be very, very afraid.
Oh, dear.
But anyway, man, his brother Bill was really cool. He gave him the best present.
Yeah, so I mean, Spake actually robbed me of it, but I was going to talk about his voice acting in the Star Trek animated series.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
Right
forgive me. You seem too young to have caught it when it aired.
That's right. I was not even alive at all when it aired.
I actually did watch it when it was on, and it was great. The Kirk was voiced by Kirk. Scotty was voiced by Scotty.
And unfortunately, the executives
Spock
wanted to take advantage of James Doohan's voice talents and kick out the others. And just have. But of course, Nimoy said, "No, you got to bring everybody, or I'm not doing it." And they were able to bring everyone back except Walter Koenig.
Yeah, who's a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've met the man 3 times. He was a jerk. He was a jerk all 3 times. I'm like, yeah, he's just a jerk.
I didn't know that. I've never tried to meet him.
Yep. Three different conventions at which I met him. He's at his table. I come up like, Mr. Kennedy, great to meet you. I'm such a fan of yours. And he looks at me like I'm an insect. He goes, uh-huh.
No way.
Okay. No, the first time I'm thinking, okay, he might have had a bad flight, bad breakfast, maybe just had a bad interaction with somebody. The next time I was at a convention, he was there. I tried again. Same reaction. Okay, twice is a coincidence. 3 or more is a pattern. The third time I was like, no, he's just a dick.
Oh.
And after that,
to me. I've heard about Brent Spiner, but I haven't heard this.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people when I say this story say, yeah, he was the same to me. I don't know, but after I'd been telling people, he looked at me like I was an insect, and then I rewatched Babylon 5 in the episode where he shows up as Bester. After he leaves, Garibaldi's talking about him, and he goes, "That's the way he looks at you. It's like you're an insect under a microscope." And I'm like, "That's what I said."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Larry says, damn risky. And I want to thank everybody on the Rumble side. Thank you so much. I got my 20 unique chatters. Yay.
Yay. So
excited.
Make me big.
Oh no. Now my excitement is rolling back and I don't want to make you big. Hold on. Fine. Scotty R37 wants to talk about Pretty Maids All in a Row.
This is a movie written and produced. The screenplay is written by and it is produced by Gene Roddenberry, directed by Roger Vadim, who also directed Barbarella. This is okay, we're not big anymore.
I'm trying to fix it.
No, don't worry about it. I already threw up the cover.
Can I ask why the capitalization is so wonky?
Is he really on a throne? What the hell is that throne? Zoom that in. Enhance. What is that?
He's being held by the women.
Oh my god, that's a mess. Okay, you can put it down now.
Okay.
I don't like that movie.
I think it's hilarious. It does
Never heard of
star William Campbell, who you will know as Trelane, and it also stars James Doohan as a policeman. And yeah, it's got Rock Hudson, Angie Dickinson, Telly Savalas, Roddy McDowell, Keenan Wynn. And it is a sex comedy thriller noir. It is everything everywhere all at once. And but James Doohan is in it.
I liked Pretty Maids All in a Row when it was called Planet Earth. Much better.
By the way,
But
Jill,
no James Doohan.
Jill, did you know that you actually just got your 20th subscriber on Rumble? Or your 20th visit on Rumble?
My 20th listener.
Yeah, isn't that great? Yes.
I'm excited about that. Maddie's daddy says, I got to get going. Have a great weekend, everyone. Now all
That's
I
what
need are watch
happens every
hours.
time I bring up Pretty Maids.
I'm not saying when you go grocery shopping, you have to run a playlist of my Rumble videos, but that would help.
It would help.
That's crazy. You guys don't have to do that, but anyway. See you later, Maddie's daddy. Great. I knew Scotty would get that. Yeah. Okay, Scotty. Actually, Gavin has been waiting for you to talk about the Pretty Maids.
But I think that it speaks to the friendship between Gene Roddenberry and James Doohan. Is if there was a Gene Roddenberry production, of course, Jimmy Doohan would be a part of it. I think that they have a shared past in terms of their, if I may say it, service to the country, their respective countries. I think Gene Roddenberry was a true red-blooded American, and I do think that Jimmy Doohan was a true red-blooded Canadian. And so for them to become friends is part of the reason why I think James Doohan was such an advocate for Gene's vision and the stories he was trying to tell. And I respect that. And I think that that is something that they shared from the moment they met.
Sure.
And it makes me feel very, very close to both Jim and Gene in that their shared passion. One because of vision and the other because of friendship. And it's just like, yeah, that's how I feel Star Trek is. Vision and passion and friendship.
And they're both really great storytellers, even though James didn't write as much as Gene. This autobiography, like you said, really breezy, really easy to read, really gripping. I'm just so excited reading so much of this. I'm going to go back and read the rest of it, hopefully in person, because I should be getting the physical copy tomorrow.
How much was it?
It has I don't remember.
How many dollars?
It's like $12 on Rumble.
That's not bad.
Oh no, we've got a bot on Twitch, which is all Twitch is good for. But I don't really work. I don't work my Twitch.
Send the bot my email address.
Okay.
But back to the animated series though. Yeah, it was good that Nimoy held out so that the entire cast that was willing to do this show, which was everyone but that jerk Koenig.
Hey, calm your face.
He met Koenig 3 times and he's a jerk. Okay.
He is a jerk and a half.
Those are strong words.
Yes, they are.
Experience.
But Scotty just, I mean, the 3-armed, 3-legged alien that they used in place of Chekhov, that was
Eric's.
The Guardian of Forever, that was doing. Robert April was doing. He played so many Klingons. I mean, good Lord, he was like every other voice on this show.
Who was Bem? Was he Bem?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, no, you're right. He played a voice of God one time. But yeah, I guess even Nichelle Nichols did that too. Godlike alien, obviously no actual deities. But
That was
also,
George Murdoch or Lawrence Luckenbull.
Power Ranger Donnie says Jimmy Doohan wasn't the only
Hey,
one
Donnie.
who lost a finger. Walter E. Jones, whom I love as Zach Taylor in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, lost one as well.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Bless both of their missing fingers. But Donnie, this has the square root of Jack Squat to do with the Power Rangers.
But you know what? If I were doing a live stream about
You know who else had a heart attack? You know who else had dementia? It's like, dude, read the room.
His mom had very bad arthritis that put her in the hospital for 10 years or 9 years. James Doohan.
You know who else lost a finger? I don't know, some unfortunate bowler in Kansas.
Oh no, you need those fingers to bowl. Max Redstone says, I must be off. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you soon
Max.
rather than later.
I guess.
How do you really feel about it?
Now's as good a time as any. There is going to be no show tomorrow night.
Oh.
Yeah. And happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all those who have served. Yes. And yes. So for reasons, there will not be a show. I do have a away mission this weekend, so I cannot make a Saturday show if that's what we want to announce. And so make sure I'll direct everybody to Fet for Hire. He is amazing and he's lots of fun. Hang out with him. And if I see anybody else I want to promote who streams after Fet, I'll do that. But yes.
I would give you a thumbs up, but unfortunately I lost a thumb.
Just like a few minutes ago?
Just now.
Just
I was
now.
sucking it too hard.
Oh, okay. We're gonna leave it there.
All right, so I've just looked at the IMDb page, and I do not see Bem as one of his voices.
But some of them could be uncredited because he did so many.
It's possible.
Who voiced Bem? Let's find out. No, I love
Let's find out.
Oh wait, that's only season 1. Here, I forgot there was a season 2. There it is. Yes, he did. He was already been Ben.
All right.
I forgot there were 2 seasons.
Yeah, there are. It's an abbreviated season, not as many episodes.
Yeah, it is.
As the first. During SNL, I was gonna read the SNL one, but then the chat jumps all over the place. Max is already leaving though anyway. It would be nice to read that as he leaves. Leonard Nimoy blamed quitting his alcoholic drinking as the reason for his puff a minute smoking habit, which led, of course, to a COPD. That's awful. Well, but it's good to quit things. It's good to quit smoking and drinking. Do it together.
Donnie, I'm sorry I lashed out about the Power Rangers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't
enjoy the things he loves. That's what this channel is about.
Yes. I don't drink anymore. Of course, I don't drink any less either.
You got me there. I almost believed you. Oh, what was the SNL thing that Max? You know what? I might have started. Let me see if I started.
Well, and that's the thing.
I started. Scotty, can you read this
there
for
we
me?
go. I'll see if I can. Max in the chat says, during the SNL skit hosted by William Shatner, Shatner play the sketch where he went to a convention. Yes, familiar. Scotty's ex-wife had written a biography titled "Beam Me the Hell Out of Here." Yeah. Well, and the thing is that Mr. Doohan had many ex-wives.
Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't get through all of them. And there was one that
James Doohan did.
He didn't. He did.
Womp,
but
womp.
there was one that he didn't marry that he was supposed to marry. And I wonder if he would have stayed with her his whole life if he would have got to marry her, because he had like a high school sweetheart.
Like an El Calavici?
I don't know. But he went off to war for 6 years and it was just too long for her. So she ended up getting married to somebody else.
Yeah. What a terrible thing to come home to.
And then when he did come home, though, he did ask her out on a date and they did have a dance. But it was like, yeah, I got this. I got this guy. So this is just This is more like a closure kind of thing than an actual date. So poor guy with that one. And well, he stayed in the marriage that he realized didn't have a love because he was Catholic, and so he was really into his faith and trying to make the marriage work, but after a while, it just didn't work.
He was only
And so
married
he
3
had to
times. He was only married 3
Yeah.
times, so he only divorced twice. Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was 4, but 3 is good.
3. Okay. Thank you for the correction. I didn't get through the whole autobiography, so I didn't know about how many people he married.
No worries.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, four of his children were with his first wife, no children with the second, and then 3 with the youngest.
Larry says on the Rumble side that Roddenberry was in the South Pacific. He also said Rock Hudson for some reason, but I don't know why.
Well, Rock Hudson's in Pretty Maids all in a row.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Classic
I forgot
Comics
about
says,
Macmillan and wife.
Get a life, will you?
Will you, people? Yes.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
and
it was in jest. Like a lot of people take that too seriously.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
It is funny.
I have been to a single Star Trek convention in my life. I have been to many sci-fi conventions. I will never go to another Star Trek convention.
Why is that?
Not enough deodorant.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just there's a whole different level of fanaticism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's cranked to 11.
Well, in Dutch, and this is a Scotty related story. So if I may tell you, I went to a Star Trek convention in Toronto, and went around, and there was a Deep Space Nine panel, and so I went there with a friend of mine. We're just bumming around, and this is before it became like a multi-million-dollar, Canada's wonderland of hang out here. It was just in a hotel. I think Robert Picardo was there, and that's it. And so I went to one of these panels, and they were talking about Deep Space Nine, and it had been a little while. And so I think they were like 4th season of Deep Space Nine. And I raised my hand at the panel and I said, wouldn't it be cool? Like, where's Scotty? Why doesn't Scotty go to Deep Space Nine? And a person on the panel said, because they're in the middle of a war, ass.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And so this is what I'm saying, is that the people who know more than you will always be very assertive and tell you why you are wrong. And it makes sense. It absolutely. But they will never be afraid of shaming you publicly for questioning, just like, what would a good story be? And it's like, no, because the Klingons destroyed all the tribbles. Ass.
Oh, the Great Tribble War, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like as I mentioned, Aliens is my number one favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
There's hardly anything about Aliens that I do not know. But when somebody's talking about aliens and they're wrong, and I correct them, I'm never like, "Oh, you fucking moron! What's the matter with you, you ass?" It's like, no, that's not. No.
I had a similar experience with a coworker of mine, and I was talking about Klingons at work, as you do.
Maybe you.
And yeah. And then she was like, I don't understand why are you talking about what's a Klingon? And I said to my coworker, well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. And another coworker who did know about Klingons looked at me and said, that is quite possibly the worst answer you can give if you want someone else to understand what you're saying. And it's always, shut up, you're stupid, is the worst answer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, that's wow.
So I did want to
Understand
get
the,
this in. I don't know how much longer I have in me.
Well, it's only an hour and 45 minutes. Are you really going to fall off now? It's up to
No.
you. Of course, you can leave whenever you want.
I'm just saying I'm going to take more breaks. But I do want to tell this story.
All right.
Very brief. My dad met James Doohan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us more.
My dad's a veteran of the Canadian military. He was in infantry. James Doohan was in artillery. And they met at a veterans dinner in either St. Catharines, Ontario, or Petawawa. Petawawa being an artillery base, probably was Petawawa. And they talked about their, I don't want to say service, their time in the military.
Yeah.
And obviously, my dad was born in like the 50s. My James Doohan was born in 1920. And so they were comparing. My dad's a student of history. And so he just sat there. And it wasn't about Star Trek. It wasn't about fame or acting. It was just like, what was it like on Juno Beach? And my dad said it was incredible to hear, because my dad is a Star Trek fan. It was incredible to hear Scotty tell stories about D-Day. And
honestly, it's incredible to hear any of the veterans tell stories about D-Day.
Absolutely.
But it would be especially nice to hear it from Scotty, I have to admit.
Yeah, because a lot of veterans they've got a lot of pain and they can't talk about it, but some of them can. And those are always fascinating.
Well, and people say things about actors in terms of hiding behind, like James Doohan was an actor who I think presented himself. He was never going to win an Oscar. He did bring his personality to the forefront. And so I think he was outward as a performer after his experiences. You look at his voice work on radio at the CBC.
4,000 different programs.
Yeah. That's prolific.
That's a lot of radio work. And
from the man I don't know, from
400 or
Uncle.
500 TV things. 400 or 500 TV things. You can look at his IMDb. It's crazy.
Yeah. And
it's insane.
You could definitely tell his work on radio and on the Canadian Howdy Doody show definitely would have been formational for all of his voice acting.
What is the Canadian Howdy Doody show?
Yeah, he was on the Canadian version of Howdy Doody. Hang on, where was
the
that?
friendly
Huey. Tony Stark of Iron says, "Oi,
hey,
Huey,
Tony.
Radio ? Well, actually, radio is the first entertainment that James Doohan experienced, because when he was a kid, they didn't have TV. He just his family had a radio, and they would listen to radio programs and stuff like that.
They only had Atari.
Yeah.
All right, so
they didn't have an.
I'm reading this. In the mid 1950s, he appeared as Forest Ranger Timber Tom, which was the northern counterpart of Buffalo Bob, in the Canadian version of Howdy Doody. At the same time, on American Howdy Doody, William Shatner was appearing as Ranger Bill.
Ranger Bill. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Canadians showing up at the same place but not at the same time.
right. And
There
then
you
in
go,
the night
Tony.
and then in the
Making
19
a wrestling match out of those two guys.
and then in the 1950s, there was a Canadian sci-fi series, Space Command. Both of them were in that show.
Yeah, James Doohan. Well, yeah, James Doohan puts a picture in his autobiography, and he says foreshadowing. Let me find that one because we got a lot of pictures from the book that I was going to share, but we'll share that one since we're actually talking about it. Where is it?
It's over there.
Maybe
it's
I
under the
lost
couch.
Oh, I think I did lose it under the couch. There it is. Oh, but I got to share the actual screen. What the heck?
Well, if I can share Pretty Maids all in a row, you can find these.
Yeah, let's just look at all of them. Why not? It's
Why
time
not?
for family pictures.
Here's a slideshow.
Copyright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. What are we
My
gonna
channel.
get?
I'm
More?
already demonetized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Still?
there's a yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's this isn't from the book. This is just I just found it. So he put his Hollywood.
Empress. The Walk of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, the Walk of Fame. James
I give
Doohan.
that a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's exactly. He put both hands on there when he could have just did one hand.
Beam
He didn't
me
care.
up.
At this point, he didn't care about his missing fingers, so he did them all. 9 out of 10. And somebody sent me this one.
He looks like he's about to he's gonna activate the oxygen machine in Total Recall.
But you gotta love
yeah.
how hard George is laughing there. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And
Oh,
this is the very first picture that was ever taken of James Doohan of him and his mommy.
Oh wow.
And this is his dad. And this is his James Doohan. He loved things that go. So here he is pretending to drive.
Don't make him sound like a pack lad.
That's what it says. That's how he says it. He says it like
really?
that. And then here he is. That's him as a baby with his sister and his dog. And then this is the lady he almost married when they were young, but then he went to school. And this is his sister. His sister is a really sad story because she was very young and she was sick her whole life and ended up dying at the age of 37.
Oh God, that's way too young.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. And so he was there for her the entire time.
I mean, understand. I think James Doohan dying at 85 is too young.
Yeah.
But 37, that's beyond the pale.
Well, nowadays you gotta get to 90, right? At least.
I think anyone dying before 100 is too young.
And okay, this is his brother Bill, who gave him all those wonderful presents, and his brother Tom and his new wife.
Who didn't give anything. What a jerk. No, I'm kidding.
And he finally got to meet his grandma, when he was in the service at Liverpool.
That's nice.
And he looks pretty cute there. And there he is, still in England, waiting to serve in 1943. And
waiting to see action. Waiting to see action.
Waiting for action. Yeah, he was deployed, but they weren't really doing anything with him. And here he is outside the theater with in one of his early acting jobs with a friend named Johnny Carson. And then here's another one. This is obviously now his acting career. He's playing a psychiatrist trying to help emotionally disturbed girls. I have not seen this. This looks fun.
Sounds like something that Gene Roddenberry would write. Anyway, moving on.
It kind of does. And this is his acceptance letter for when he became an actor to the Neighborhood Playhouse School of Theater.
He got a scholarship there.
I did read that Bill was advocating for James
for Star Trek.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, they'd work together.
Well, because they would have traveled in the same circles at the CBC and
they had worked together. He knows what a good actor he is. Why wouldn't he?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the network kind of wanted to save some money and nix the engineering position. Just say, oh, we don't need an engineer. But his agent, James Doohan agent, also fought for him too. And I didn't realize Shatner did it also. It's just something maybe even James didn't know.
Okay, that's hilarious that for Star Trek, they wanted to save money by cutting out Doohan, but then for the cartoon, they wanted to save money by making it exclusively Doohan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. They just wanted to have Shatner, Nimoy, and Doohan and maybe Major Barrett doing all the lady voices, and that was it. You're right. You're absolutely right. It is kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Which is something like we're sort of saying it. We're saying it offhandedly, but if you haven't seen Star Trek the Animated Series, watch it.
Incidentally, the entire show made with construction paper for the for the characters. All of the shirts.
You're thinking of South Park.
No.
What? Really?
Literally, Star Trek Animated Series. All of the characters were cut out from cardboard, and then they did the animation like that. Yeah.
Because I have the book about the animated series, and that's not in there. Where did you find that one out?
I heard that decades ago.
That's
well,
pretty
maybe
cool.
it all got muddied up.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean,
no biggie.
I'm looking for it now.
I don't know. I like the filmation animation. It took a lot for me to get past it, but once I enjoyed the voice acting, the storytelling, I got past the animation and the music. Bum, bum.
Over us, $1 loss, like you.
That was the Lorelei signal where all these sirens kind of made all the men drunk and not understand how to be a person anymore. And so they're all messed up. And the ladies have to go and save them. And the way that they show
girls
Scotty,
get it done. Star Trek the Animated Series was woke.
It was not. It was not. These sirens were specifically targeting the men. And of course, they do it later in Next Generation with Amy.
Yeah, that's just to undermine masculine characters, Jill.
But no, it's not though. But they're.
But that's what they did.
It's not true. But it's not true. It's not woke. And I'll tell you why.
How do you make?
The Lorelei signal is not woke.
You're part of the agenda.
The Lorelei signal.
The message.
Okay, Mr. Scott, you're not even letting me.
No, I know. I'm done. I'm done.
You know, she can mute you.
I can mute you. I could. I just want to explain to you why it's not woke.
Please, I apologize.
It's not because the men go down, and of course they're taken by the women and everything.
They
and
go down.
What? They drain their power, and the men start growing old and everything. And the reason why it's not woke is because Spock is still strong enough to contact the ladies and show them what they should do to save them. So there's some communication there. There's still teamwork between the ladies and Spock, as much because of course he's Vulcan, so he's a little stronger and he has a longer lifespan and can handle this a little better than the if anything, if it is woke, then it is speciesist. I don't know, because only the Vulcan could help save the day, and because of his help, the ladies were able to come down and show the sirens what for. And of course, the whole message of the story is, hey, you don't have to live life draining men of their power. You can actually be normal, and you don't need this power anymore. So the way it ends is good, because the end of the story isn't that the sirens were doing a good thing. They were doing a bad thing, and they stopped doing the bad thing. Not woke.
And that is a review of the Lorelei signal.
and I have just looked it up. No, the animated series did not use construction paper. I don't remember where I heard it, but apparently it was wrong.
Well, it sounds like a review of the original the animated series where it's like you know what, and even the animation looks like they're making it out of construction paper. It sounds like a review note.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's because maybe it's because they had such a short production cycle, and so somebody
Is it
just
because everyone hates Eric's?
Yeah, nobody needs to hate Eric's.
No.
Watch animated series as an illustrated radio show. Basic, cheap, but it's but even though a lot of the animation is a little cheap, there are some moments where the background is so beautiful that I would hang up some stills of the animated series on my walls.
And most of the episodes are brilliantly written. Even a couple of the ones, one of the ones written by Koenig.
Right.
Yeah, there's only one.
Yeah, that one has giant Spock.
Yeah, it wasn't that great now that I think about it.
It was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought that one was okay. I mean, it's plant people.
It won a Hugo.
Really?
I think.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Larry says animated series had the same writers as original series. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
The showrunner for the animated series was DC Fontana, and that was her main objective. Make sure that we're writing this show just as if it were a live action. And except now we got a bigger, like not a bigger budget, but you could do more things with animation that the budget impeded us to do before, but still keep it like if we had the budget, we could make this in live action.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were also able to save a lot of money on animation by just reusing stock footage of characters turning or characters running left to right, or then just mirroring it, having them run right to left.
Yeah, and then this was something.
And yes, putting their hands over their mouths as they talked,
Oh, yeah.
so they didn't have to animate the mouths, of course.
Yeah,
they did that a lot.
especially works whenever it's surprising, like, oh no. and this is something I would never notice, but Pop Culture Curator showed me is that there's one episode where they grow really, really tiny and they have these little ladders everywhere, and he said those ladders were from an animated Gilligan's Island. so anyway, but speaking of the animated series, that the reason why they wanted to replace most of the characters with James Doohan is because he's so good with the dialects and the accents and was such a great voice actor. He says he was born with a good ear. Even when he was just a kid, he would have all these voices, and his dad would say, how does he know a Cockney accent? And he picked it up from a movie. And
It's not
so long
difficult.
as
You just got to listen.
That's all he has to do is listen to it, and he can replicate it. And he even did that to a commanding officer once who was in good humor, and then he made sure not to do it again because he thought he was pushing his luck. It was a British accent there.
I've only done stage acting 3 times in the last 5 years. But first role, I'm sure you guys know the actor Richard Kind.
Yeah.
The very neurotic New York Joe. He basically talks like this. The character I was doing in this Neil Simon play called Rumors. His name was Lenny, and reading the script, this was his voice. There was no question in my mind. This was Lenny, so that's how I did Lenny. Then the next one was Once Upon a Mattress. I had a non-singing role. Thank God, because I can't sing. Where I was playing the wizard, and I chose to give him this accent, a little on the lilty side, a bit on the posh English accent, and it was wonderful. And then the last one was I was playing a security guard in a hotel that had a time travel door that no one knew about until they started using it. And I was playing a guy with a Cockney accent, and fortunately we had a voice voice coach who was able to help me dial in the Cockney accent. It was much better during the play than what I just did there.
I'm sure that's great. No, it's better than mine. I can't do anything at all. The only voice acting that I have been able to do is for my children when I read them stories and I give a different voice to all the characters and they just come to me in the moment. But I don't know if any of them are very good.
I love their
voice.
You did a really good job at the introduction to Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I can do generic lady voice. Yes, a lot, which is why I was
You
good
do
at Keiko.
generic lady voice very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
But there was, and this is something you can check out on YouTube. We can't play it here because YouTube, but it's on YouTube. But if we play it here, we'll get in trouble. But it is available on YouTube. Is that there is an interview from, I forget the year, but it is James Doohan, Conan O'Brien, and he does a lovely interaction where it was like, Conan asks, how did you come up with that accent? And he was like, well, can you imagine? And I'm paraphrasing. Captain Kirk calls down to engineering and says, we need warp 12, is what he says in the interview. And then instead of hearing, and he does traditional Scotty accent, Captain, I can't do it. You blew the warp engines. And then, but instead of that, Captain Kirk says, we need warp 12. And Scotty says, see.
Oh, right. This is the Conan O'Brien interview.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, that would be decent. Yeah, at least he didn't do.
That's
Speedy
hilarious.
Gonzalez.
That's it. That's the whole story. I'll be back in a minute.
That's the whole story,
Conan,
except not really, because he goes into lots of other accents. There's more to the interview. He also does some Asian accents. He also does pirate accent, and then Conan says, "I had to stop you right there. Is pirate an ethnic?"
You know what? You know why pirates sound like this? Jill?
Why? Why do pirates sound like that?
No lie, because of one actor in one movie. I can't remember who the actor is or what the movie was, but that one actor was talking like this as a pirate. And as a result of that, every pirate for the next 50 years was yar.
Okay, you brought this up. You're gonna have to tell me who this is.
Right.
So, Old Man Bird says,
do the standard pirate voice.
So sweet, Jill. It doesn't matter if it's good, but it does result in greater excitement.
Okay, it was. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you just finished.
No, I was just reading the chat.
It was Robert Newton in the 1950 live-action film from Disney, Treasure Island. He was playing Long John Silver. He was. I saw your mouth move, but I don't hear you saying anything.
Do you? Okay, sorry. I was muted, but that's great. You said Treasure Island because that's also. Have you ever seen the Lost in Space episode with the pirate, Sky Pirate?
Yar, I have.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. So the reason he talks like that and walks like that and all he does all the things is because of
Robert
Island
Newton
also.
Silver Me Timbers. Okay. Yep, the whole thing.
I get it now. I get it. Okay, that's super fun.
Pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel down his pants. Bartender looks at him. He goes, "Buddy, you got a steering wheel down your pants." And the pirate looks at him and he goes, "Yar, it's driving me nuts."
That's cute. Clutch Cargo Mills. Mike Myers couldn't do it, of course. Oh, okay. The other one I can do is Brain and Brain. What is Brain? So there's also okay. So speaking of his accents, there's also the idea that where he got this from. Where did James Doohan figure out that he's supposed to do a Scottish accent? And it was firstly also it was because of his grandpa, and it was also because he knew that Scotsmen were great engineers, but it was also because when he was in the service and he was in England, he met this guy who was from Aberdeen, which is why at the beginning of the show I played that clip
Crawler.
Scotty, in Argelia, they use the lights.
Now, no one has to tell an old Aberdeen pub crawler how to applaud, Captain.
And so he met this guy who was really from Aberdeen, and he couldn't understand a single word, and he learned how to speak like a Scotsman from him. But Gene Roddenberry said, wait a minute. That accent is too thick. Nobody's going to understand you. So James Doohan had to scale back the accent to make it understandable for everybody, which is why some people who are from Scotland say, "Oh, this is not an accurate accent," because if it were accurate, most people would not get it. And so they had to make it for a Western audience.
Yeah,
or not Western, but American audience.
Yeah, basically, he says he's an Aberdeen pub crawler, but his accent clearly shows he spent much more of his life in Edinburgh, because that's much closer to the accent he actually uses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what it is I think somebody made an excuse later, like, okay, he wasn't exactly Aberdeen, like you're saying, maybe Edinburgh. Like, he mixed accents of all sorts together to create a futuristic Scottish accent that doesn't exist yet.
I'd be shocked if Doohan had actually been doing a legit Aberdonian accent, because that's the accent you'll hear in some movies or TV shows where the person's talking and they're going like, "Oh, like, what did he say? He said good morning."
Well, apparently it was bad enough that Gene said, "Hey, scale it back. It's too thick." So maybe he was already scaling it back and it was still not good enough and he had to go back further. Because really, he had to talk to this guy for weeks and weeks, and he's just like, he said it. He kept saying, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" And it was so painful for this Aberdonian guy just to say. He said it was like trying to explain particle physics to a newborn.
I think folks from Aberdeen are referred to as Aberdonian. At least it was in this
Aberdonian.
This article I read.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when Star Trek was canceled, Doohan had been typecast.
That's an unfortunate. I think that's such an unfair thing to happen to actors, because if you're a good actor, you should. A production crew should see you as having the potential for range, rather than put you in a box and just say, "Oh, you can't do it unless it's an engineer or Scotsman. We don't really want you." Like, why are executives so small-minded, Judge Grady?
I would think it would be casting directors instead of executives. It would just be, yeah, and I can't quite say, because I mean there are some actors for whom it happened. I mean, there's like Adam West on Batman. He pretty much couldn't find any role after that. But here we have William Shatner, who moved on to Batman the Animated Series before that.
Yeah.
In Batman the Animated Series, he was playing the actor Simon Trent, who had, in Bruce Wayne's childhood, been playing a television character, the Gray Ghost.
That was so cute. That was such a cute episode.
Yeah, you see Simon as an older actor on the phone with his agent saying, "Come on, you've got to get me the role. I can play someone other than the Gray Ghost." poor.
Yeah, but to Batman, that's his hero. Oh, yeah. That's so cute. Yep. No, I like Batman the Animated Series. That's the best Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
The best Batman, the best Alfred, the best Joker, the best Jim Gordon. It was just brilliantly made. And the voice direction, Andrea Romano, God bless you wherever you are. Because you have to realize that a lot of times in cartoons, like in the 80s, Jerry Orwell played a character in a sci-fi cartoon called Galaxy Rangers. And he spoke all of his lines like this.
Oh,
and I mean every line was like this. He would say, "All right, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee."
Wow. Really?
They didn't really have voice directors or good voice directors for a lot of those cartoons.
So everybody thinks Zap Brannigan is based on Captain Kirk, but now it sounds to me like it's a combination of Kirk and whatever that is.
Yeah, or yeah, it wasn't just Orwell. I mean, I don't, what a great actor Jerry Orwell is. I mean, it's just,
well, and if an actor is not given direction, they have to do what they see fit.
Right. He's like, well, this is a sci-fi cartoon. I'm playing a hero. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty fun. What's the name of the show again?
Galaxy Rangers.
Galaxy Rangers. Is that what country of production is that? American or Canadian?
It was American. It might have had Japanese or Korean animation. I don't remember, but it wasn't a great show. But it was cool.
Neat. Okay. Oh, and speaking of James Doohan having lost his finger, he eventually he wanted to not show it during the run, but when he was writing this book, he was thinking, "Hey, what would I do?" He says, "I should have had a story for how Scotty lost his finger. Maybe he made a mistake with the phaser and his finger."
Okay, there were train engineers back in the day, like we're talking 19th century, where you could tell how experienced they were by how many fingers they had left. If they still had all 10 fingers, they were a newbie. If they had lost like 2 fingers and that was all, they were experienced. If they had lost more than 2 fingers, you started questioning how good they were.
Well, and that's, that's kind of the headcanon.
So you want to just have 1 finger lost to be the coolest.
Two.
No, but the headcanon that I am receiving from this is, yeah, Scotty lost a finger. You know why? At a certain moment, he had to pull out a dilithium crystal from the chamber and it blew up and he lost a finger.
Yeah, why not? Or he was on the firing range, re-upping his classification for a phaser, and the phaser overcharged and blew off his finger by mistake.
I'll be right back, guys. Okay.
Yeah. No, but I like that. I like that sort of headcanon just to facilitate the memory of James Doohan, knowing what his service was during World War II, and then being like, yeah. And then he got shot and he lost a finger. But I can understand a person being self-conscious about being like, if I'm going to be an actor, I don't want to show everybody that I can't play a Nintendo 64.
I'm actually looking to see if anyone has written anything about it. Okay, in the Star Trek universe, Montgomery Scott does not have a canonical reason for losing a finger. The character,
which I think is respectful. I think that's respectful to Jim.
The character is physically intact in the lore, and the production team made a deliberate effort to hide the actor's missing digit on screen, and they did.
Well, except for 4 times.
Well,
maybe 5.
They still were making the deliberate effort to hide it.
Yes.
They may have failed 4 or 5 times, but they were making an effort.
Well, but also I think that's the episodes in which it happens. I think that it is sort of, I would say those are the episodes where James Doohan was most comfortable.
You'll also remember, we're talking about a time when you couldn't just pause the screen and look at it.
Yeah.
So they were like,
well, that's
okay,
true too.
Yeah, it's going to be shown, but it's going to be there for like literally 2 frames out of 24.
Yeah.
Who's going to see that?
And now we're living in an era where you can slow down the screen and be like, there it is, his missing finger.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, what a brave new world.
Because they were using camera angles, hand doubles, strategically placed props. They were doing everything and anything they could to hide that he was missing a finger.
Gavin in the chat says, give it enough time and they'll do an origin story for Scotty's missing finger. I'll do you one better. They got a new actor playing Scotty, right? I bet you they'll cut off his finger.
No, her finger.
His. It's a dude.
No, they'll redo it. Scotty
no, they have a dude Scotty in Strange New Worlds. They have a Scotty.
Yeah, they'll redo it. It'll be a woman. It'll be a woman. He'll be a black trans woman. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that Scotty will transition into a Scottrina because they cut something off.
Sure.
I am certain that Jill would not appreciate this line of conversation.
Sorry.
No, it's I was just suggesting cutting off an actor's finger and you had to make it all trans.
Transitioning to a different character, yes.
Answer derivative, Jill. It's like a shop class teacher's firework person.
Shop class teacher or a fireworks person.
You know how good they are by how many missing fingers.
Yep, they are missing a finger or two.
You don't
want somebody who's missing like 5 of their fingers. That's not the one you want.
I had a soccer coach when I was a kid who had no thumb, and I was dodging a ball. I must have been the goalie because I was using my hands, and my thumb got caught on it, on the ball, and it hurt a lot. Didn't take it off. But one of the soccer coaches who did not have a thumb said, it's soccer. You got to use your feet or you'll end up like me. And he showed me his stump. And that's the day I stopped playing sports.
That's brilliant. Oh, God. That is it's cruel but funny.
Well, come on. Life is both. Keith in the chat says, my grandfather got run over. Hang on a second. Keith, I want to say by a reindeer, but I will start over. My grandfather got run over by the discs on his tractor and lost 2 fingers and would have bled to death if it weren't for dark clay. Holy moly. You know what? I just saw the Outlaw Josie Wales recently, and they were putting dark clay on bullet wounds. And I was like, that can't work. But Keith, thanks. If it weren't for the dark clay. Hot diggity. Jamie Lynn Simons is here. And she says, yes. Jill will be back in a moment, everybody.
Dark clay, specifically kaolin clay, a naturally occurring mineral, is widely used in medical settings and military trauma kits to stop bleeding fast. It works by activating the body's natural clotting process,
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Turning certain fibers into a sticky matrix that traps platelets. Cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
I didn't learn that until I watched a Clint Eastwood Western. And Keith.
I'm not sure you can actually bleed to death from 2 fingers being cut off, but it definitely would be a significant blood loss.
Oh, but okay. So if it's your left hand, don't forget the reason that you put your wedding ring on your left hand is that is a blood vessel that goes from the heart to your left ring finger. And so, or at least that's what I heard from romance novels.
Citation needed.
Yeah, fair enough. I have no facts to back this up. This is all just I don't know. I heard it. Somewhere.
I'm not saying you can't bleed to death by losing 2 fingers. I'm just questioning whether it can be done. Like,
well, it can't help. What would you do if you lost 2 fingers? Never mind.
Grab some
James Doohan, everybody.
Grab a clean cloth, slap it over the wound, and apply pressure until I can get to a doctor.
Yeah, because every time that you lost 2 fingers, you would have a clean cloth around you.
I have a shirt, don't I?
That's not clean.
I'm sure part of this shirt is clean. And then I will also try to find my fingers.
You need water.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, I need water to live, but if I just had my fingers cut off, I'm grabbing the fingers, putting cloth over the wound, applying pressure.
Yeah, but would you put like a sock over it?
You know, the ankle part of the sock, if it's tall socks, would probably be clean enough.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Antiderivative Jills. We are hypothesizing in regards to the finger loss of James Doohan. And that has reduced Dutch and I to discussing what would you do if you lost a finger?
Yeah, but
so this is in deference and reverence to Mr. James Doohan.
But Doohan's
Jill, what would you do if you wear socks?
We can't hear you, Jill.
Yes, I do. I wear socks.
What would you do if you lost a finger?
I would put the finger in milk and get to my nearest hospital.
Where are you getting the milk from?
My refrigerator.
She probably lost a finger while cooking.
Yeah, like the thing is you don't plan where the finger loss is going to happen.
But it's most likely going to happen in the kitchen.
You know, most accidents happen at home.
Yeah. And make sure you get a lot of pressure on wherever the wound is.
Yep, keep pressure
and get to the hospital.
And then pour milk on it.
Yeah, no, pour the milk on the finger that is detached from you. Get to the hospital and maybe they can save it.
Is it in a Dixie cup?
Sure.
Your finger.
Solo cup.
Okay, makes sense.
Now James
Ziploc
Doohan,
bag, whatever.
James Doohan couldn't save his own finger because it was shattered by the bullet.
Yeah, it was basically disintegrated.
Yeah, they had to amputate what was left.
All the bones were just destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, he got shot.
Yeah, by a Bren.
And that's a Bren.
Bren.
They'll cut the wrong digit off. And the reason why he was afraid, he was like, okay, you have a choice. You can keep it, but it's going to be stiff and useless forever. Or we just get rid of it. And he was thinking, okay, if I keep this thing, it's just going to be stiff. And if I relax on my fingers, it's going to look like I'm flipping everyone off forever. So that's why he got rid of it.
Yeah, it would get in the way, or you would be flipping everyone off. He made the right choice there.
Yeah,
there is a great movie called Air America, starring Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
and in the movie, Mel Gibson's character has his toe shot off, and he says, "Well, then I cremated it, and I keep it in this little amulet around my neck." And Robert Downey Jr. says, "Well, couldn't they have sewn the toe back on you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess they could have. But if something gets shot off of me, I don't really want it back."
Well, in another movie with Robert Downey Jr., Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
yes, sir.
He loses one of his fingers and it gets swallowed by a dog.
It does, no. But he does, yeah.
Wait, doesn't something like that happen in A Fish Called Wanda?
I haven't seen that in so long.
Yes.
Dutch Radiant, could you please read this chat for me?
Isn't that good, Captain? The pizza bakes are dry. I can't hold her.
Thank you. That was so good.
Oh, no, thank you. Glad to do it.
And good to see you, Lance. Let me know if you want to hang out for a minute. And Gavin said, if I lost my finger, I would run around shouting, "My finger! My finger!"
You know, it's funny. I am trained in first aid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I was coming back to
First honest answer.
I was coming back home, and the storm door was swinging shut, and it always swung shut too fast. So I would always catch it with my right hand behind me and stop it from slamming. Well, this day, the plate glass, not tempered glass, shattered when it hit my hand. And it created a very deep cut on the meat nearest my thumb, and it was bleeding profusely. So I dialed 911, called for an ambulance, and before the ambulance got there, I was like, why did I call an ambulance? I could have driven like this. I could have driven myself to a hospital. I'm not in any, I'm not about to pass out from loss of blood or anything. It's like I panicked. It's like, yeah, you can panic in such a situation. But they were glad that I came to the hospital because they wanted to make sure there was no glass in the wound. There was, and they wanted to make sure that I hadn't cut the tendon. I hadn't. That was on.
Well, you kind of find that out right away.
That was on Father's Day that year. I had to call my my parents, let them know I would be a little late.
They're like, "Stay home, son. What are you doing? We're gonna come visit you." Herc 130, hello, Herc 130.
Hey, Herc.
He says, Scotty. He's relaying what we just did.
Scotty.
It was just very funny.
Not me, Scotty.
No, it is you, Scotty. Scotty R37.
Yeah.
You were asking me about what I do with the finger that I put in milk. I forget where I learned that from. And where does the milk come from? My refrigerator. Apparently that was funny. I didn't know.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Old Man Bird says the scientist Michael Levin is close to being able to make your body grow new limbs. Ew. He learned to manipulate ordinary cells electrochemically to grow human
ears
on rats. Oh, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for that technology.
There was a South Park episode that had that same thing, but it was like
Play Lemmy Winks.
They've also been working very hard on.
James Doohan. I want to see Lemmy Winks.
In Japan, they've been working.
I think Jimmy Doohan would love Lemmy Winks.
They've been working for years in Japan on creating molds of organs into which they put a healthy cell from like your kidney and whatever the stuff they put into it to make it grow. And it will literally grow into a healthy kidney that is your cells that they can then transplant into you, and your body would never reject it because it is your own cells.
I've heard of them doing that with liver. They really succeeded with the.
They've been working on it. Is the thing.
Okay.
I don't know how far they've gotten. I don't know if they gave up. I don't know anything else. But man, that'd be nice.
Thanks to you, we are all free.
But your adventures are just beginning, for you are no ordinary gerbil, Lemmywinks. You are the Gerbil King.
Okay.
Herc 130 says milk is for teeth, but they're both bones, right?
Well, why have I been drinking all of this milk?
Teeth are not bones. Teeth are enamel.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it.
Okay, you're right. You're right. But they both have. But I mean, what really is?
They both benefit from calcium.
They both have lots of calcium. Like,
they benefit from it. Yeah.
So does Special K.
You know what I think best about putting it in milk? Milk tends to be cold, so it'll keep the finger cold.
The only way I eat cookies is with milk. And so I eat sugary pastries. And the only thing that will cure me of that is milk.
Okay, I was wrong. If you lose a finger, do not put it in milk. First, you're supposed to rinse it.
Put it in orange juice.
A towel and a plastic
Put it in Mountain Dew.
It's just ice. Ice is what you want. Milk is not recommended for fingers.
Fair enough.
So you guys are you guys. I'll tell everybody I was wrong about the milk.
No, but Jill, seriously, if you lose a finger, what I would say is wrap it in
yes,
paper
Shark
towel,
130 is right,
and then run the paper towel covered finger under like tepid water, and then put it in like.
But I don't even know why we're talking about this. What happened when I was away?
Someone in the chat that talked about a relative with their father or grandfather.
Finger.
Somebody in the chat had mentioned that
we're not providing any medical advice here on this channel. We're just having fun.
I'm not a doctor.
Somebody in the chat had mentioned a relative who had been run over by a tractor, and the discs of the tractor cut off 2 of their fingers, and he stopped the bleeding with dark clay.
Oh, okay. Stopping the bleeding is the most important part.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what got us on the whole topic of what you would do if you had a finger cut off.
Yeah.
And Tim on the Rumble side says
the best answer was run around screaming, saying my finger.
My finger.
Thank you, Gavin, for the answer.
Yeah, that's the only honest answer in the entire chat.
Yes.
Tim FKHC 2005 says to Larry on the Rumble side, on the way home from France, I flew past Normandy, got a picture of the beaches from my seat the best I could. It's like a shop class teacher, or a fireworks person, pyrotechnic. You know how good they are if they are missing a finger or 2. There you are. That's the answer. Yeah. Okay. So that was what you were mentioning about a train conductor or engineer or something.
Yeah. You don't want a shop teacher with one arm.
Train brakemen back in the 19th century.
Okay, so there it is. There's the Space Commander picture right there on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
A part in Space Command for the CBC. This was touted as a mature science fiction show for younger viewers.
Well, and in preparation for this conversation, I've been checking out James Doohan's, I don't know, cinematography or sorry, what's it called? Resume, sure. Filmography. And I saw Space Command, and he makes fun of it in interviews, and he's like, "Oh, it was a thing of it was a harbinger of things to come." And I don't know. One of the things that I had an issue with when I was younger was like, I don't like it when people say they're typecast, because when you are typecast, you have a job for life. And
that's what he did.
Yeah.
He went around and he did speeches, and he talked to universities and schools, and of course he went to conventions.
But when you're an actor, you really do want to take different parts. You want to show you have range. You want to try different ranges. Leslie Nielsen was a straight-laced actor for most of his career and desperately wanted to do comedy. It wasn't until, the late 70s that he was finally given a chance to do comedy.
Yeah, but if you look at like John Lithgow in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
Like, that's an actor who is pressing his not only public persona, but his acting ability.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. This is my point, is that actors want to be able to do this kind of thing. But when I
don't think that James Doohan wanted to do that thing. I think he was a performer. I don't think he was an actor.
Well, when his bio says that he was typecast and could not find other roles, it means he was trying to find other roles.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And I could be wrong.
And as we already were talking about,
Probably
it was the same. It was the same with Adam West. I mean, he wanted to do other roles. Everyone just saw him as Batman.
Here, with Herc 130 mentioning Elvira.
Hey,
Elvira got typecast, but she owned the rights to that character and ran with it, making millions and controlling her career fully.
Yeah.
Well, and also Paul Rubens.
What about him? I mean, he was Pee Wee Herman. Then he was a vampire on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he's done other roles since.
Of course.
There was,
I'm just saying, like, people, there's nothing wrong with being typecast. I didn't mean to make it as a disparagement. I'm just saying,
but there is.
He definitely, I think, in his later career, he leaned into the fact that he was Scotty
because he had nothing else to do with it.
Yeah, but he also performed some of the best Montgomery Scott performances in Star Trek the 25th Anniversary, not so much. But Star Trek Judgment Rights, that's when, again, the last great performance by all of our heroes from the NCC 1701. No bloody A, B, C, or D. But Star Trek Judgment Rights is the last time that we get to hear them all together. Scotty is on an away mission. Fantastic. If you haven't played Judgment Rights, seek out that game. Either play it, watch Jill and I play it eventually, or just watch a Let's Play or a silent full thing.
Well, of course, we're going to continue to play games. We're going to finish off every game that we've started here on YouTube, but eventually we are moving over to Rumble for gaming because YouTube is starting to not like games so much. And so I'm reading that writing on the wall. But we've got a raid, speaking of Rumble, from Baked Linguini Home Channel. Thank you so much for raiding the stream. Woo-hoo! I don't really know how to share it, so I'm sharing the whole screen.
It worked.
Raid, and we've got Nate Wolf-Kira. Ooh, Nate Wolf-Kira and Bank Linguini. Thank you so much because Rumble is the best place for gaming. If you haven't heard, he finally actually made Baked Linguini. Oh, no way. Okay, so that's been his name for a while, but he finally has lived up to his name and it wants to share that accomplishment here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Welcome and thank you for rating.
Back to the concept of typecasting. Yes, actually, it is a bad thing for actors who want to do other things. And I don't understand how Scotty can be typecast, but Bill Shatner and Leonard Nimoy go on to do movies and TV shows beyond Star Trek. Why couldn't Scotty? He doesn't even speak with that accent naturally. So it's a real shame. I wonder if it was his agent or just the roles he was aiming at. I don't know.
That's strange, yeah, because he said if he would go into an interview and they said, "Hey, Scotty," then he knew he was not going to get the job.
Yeah.
But also, like, you don't see a lot of the main seven aside. Like, even in the 70s, what do you got for Nimoy? You have
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So In Search of an Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Then
he also did guest starring roles on other shows. He was also in Mission Impossible.
And that's where I was going to go with Shatner. And also, yes, he was a main character, lead on.
But he got bored of it. He got so bored of it because it was the same thing all the time. Even though he was different characters.
Do you think that James Doohan is a good actor?
I think he's good enough.
Well, I think he learned method acting from his teachers. So he knows he has acting skills, if that's what you're asking. He went to school.
He's believable.
He does. And I don't want to take away from that, but like there was never going to be like an Our Man Flint starring James Doohan.
Okay, maybe not, but Majel Barrett got to do lots more roles, granted all in Star Trek, but she was able to do voices of computers. She was able to do Loxana Troy. She was able to do, a lot of other things in Star Trek. Scotty wasn't.
But that's also the decisions that, anyway.
That does help that she married Gene Roddenberry.
But again, I like Gene and Jim were friends. There's home movies of them on Gene's yacht. Or sailboat.
Neat.
Fair enough.
Well, sailboat or yacht, I just like boats. We can go fishing on it. I'm happy.
But yes.
Nate Wolf Kira says, a fellow Final Fantasy player. That's a follow. Yeah, that's how I feel about Star Trek fans, which you guys obviously know Star Trek because you're saying live long and prosper and don't be a red shirt. And that's, yeah. And not all red shirts are in danger specifically.
Scotty.
Well, Scotty wasn't a red shirt. Scotty was Scotty.
Right. He was an exception. But
I do like that. I do like that moment in, I think it's, oh, I'm sorry, Jill. I think it's in Star Trek Into Darkness where Chris Pine as Captain Kirk says to Anton Yelchin as Chekhov. He's like, I'm going to need you to put on a red shirt. You're going to be the chief of engineering. And the look of dread on Chekhov's face is funny. And he survives. So, and I think that they did a thing where it was like, statistically, how many red shirts died? And
yeah,
it's like,
I'm not sure if I follow with that because they're just talking about people who aren't even on screen. Like, yeah, if you're a red shirt and you're not on screen, you're safe. Sure, that makes sense. But the ones that go down on the landing party may be in more danger than the ones who are just hanging out in the mess hall or playing checkers.
And that was the premise of James Scalzi's book Red Shirts.
Remember that
really
lady?
Read that.
I'm sharing
that
image.
Lady in Charlie X.
Yeah, no face.
She got her no face.
Yeah, that was horrific.
It was a gold uniform. That was a gold uniform.
I shared an image.
Didn't have a face. Yeah, I guess she did die.
She can't fucking breathe, yo. Sorry about the swear.
Yeah, I think she wore pantyhose to achieve that, right?
Jill, I shared an image.
Okay, looking, sharing, and making large. Oh yeah, that's a classic one. Dig 3 graves up there. I'll explain to you later. They do that, and then they do that also for Devil in the Dark because they have them all lined up.
What episode is that meme from?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's called Obsession.
Okay.
And
because you can see Lieutenant Garovic. Is that Garovic on the left? And so, yeah.
My favorite one is not from any particular episode. It's just a stormtrooper in a red shirt, and the stormtrooper is shooting at the red shirt, but the red shirt gets a heart attack and dies anyway.
I have that. I have that T-shirt. The stormtrooper has shot. Yeah. There's a blast mark on the shirt above the dead red shirt, and the stormtrooper is going, "I missed," and the dead red shirt with X's for eyes is saying, "I died anyway."
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think we had it on our work computers too. Your work computers. What did you have on your work computers? Oh, you're gonna. go through Star Trek. Yes, it's always a good idea to go through Star Trek again, Nate Wolf. Oh man, that's always a good idea. I fell asleep to Mirror Mirror last night. Yeah. The red shirt.
Well, a friend of ours is just starting watching Star Trek Voyager for the first time. Ben
I'm sorry
from
to
Cinema
hear it.
Gulp.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Why is that?
It's a terrible show.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun
disagree.
sometimes too.
You're allowed to be wrong.
Oh, now I know how Scotty feels when I'm ragging on Utrecht. Because I like Voyager a little bit.
Oh God! After like the third episode, I was like, "Would somebody please just shove her into an airlock and let her out?"
Cass or Janeway?
Yes, Janeway.
Okay.
I thought it would be obvious
like
when I said her. I mean,
no.
they are in the Delta Quadrant. You should be doing everything you can to get home. Oh, look, an anomaly. Let's stop and check it out. The hell is wrong with you, lady?
Well, you still got to do a little science. They are trying to get home.
I agree, but they don't have to check out an anomaly on a planet that looks like it's a volcanic activity. That's not going to help you get home. Go home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Gilligan's Island, Dutch Gradient. It's like Gilligan's Island. If they were trying to get home every week, then the show would be over.
Yeah. By your diagnosis, they would have asked the caretaker to send them home in the first episode, and it would have been worse than Section 31. Instead,
no, nothing is worse than Section 31. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but if the
major hyperbole. Section 31 had a Kool-Aid man in a
I know. So if Janeway and the Voyager
power armor
had abandoned that planet and said, "Send us home," it would have been the equivalent of Section 31. And so while I understand criticism about Star Trek Voyager, I think it's the Star Trek answer to Friends. It is a 90s sitcom Star Trek show. And I love it because of B'Elanna Torres and Space Chandler.
He means Tom Paris.
That's right. He knew who I meant.
I didn't know his name, but I knew the character you were talking
about. I mean,
about.
the only thing that annoys me about Voyager is Neelix.
The problem was
whatever. He's like
the most interesting character on the entire show was a friggin' hologram.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
I hate to break it to you, but he shows up later.
I don't care. The most interesting character on the show was the hologram.
Yes, yeah. The Doctor was good, and Gavin's over there on Rumble.
He was a GoBot Data.
No, he's a little bit different. I mean, in the fact that he's a sentient, artificial, intelligent being created by a scientist who instead of it being more like a child, though, because it's less like a child, it's more like a weird clone. Because he doesn't think, like, Zimmerman doesn't think of the Doctor as his child, like
Jill.
Yes,
Scotty.
May I request
a conversation?
I would love to have a conversation about Data versus the Doctor in terms of.
It might be a good
in terms of their sentience.
I'm not quite sure. Versus.
Well, that's what the conversation would be about, an exploration.
They're both sentient. They both are.
Yeah, but
obviously the Doctor is much younger than Data. Data's been around since the colony.
Data has more agency because he's not limited to where there's a holographic projector. But
he doesn't need the little mobile emitter.
Yeah, we don't have to do it now. I'm just saying it would be an interesting place to pick apart.
That one way they're similar is that Data has all the experiences of all the colonists, and the Doctor has all the experiences of all the doctors.
No, I have
programmed
it.
into him.
I have it. Data is far more important, far more sentient, far more everything, because he got to meet
He's
Scotty.
fucked. Oh.
I see where Jill's mind goes, but because he met
and she knows who Tasha Yar is.
Yes, I know that was what she was referring to. I get that.
No, you're cool. You're cool.
Okay, but you know what the Doctor might have gotten with that girl from Beowulf, the Beowulf episode? I'm not sure.
I don't even know how a hologram can orgasm.
I don't know either.
It would be simulated.
But
I
right,
most fear there.
Like
it was
most
like
women,
I don't want to know.
Scotty, like most women, it would be simulated.
That is funny.
Thank you.
But I'm not laughing.
Gavin is excited about being over on Rumble because they have dancing bananas over there.
Yeah, I've been noticing that in the chat on there. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. I like it.
Oh, remember how I told you that that Rumble set up on my TV?
Yeah.
I found out that I gotta buy the, don't see ads.
You gotta get premium?
Well, yeah, if I don't want to see ads.
Don't you hate that?
I do hate that.
Oh, wow.
I feel bad for the dancing bananas though, because you see them there, they can't stop. And they have to keep that exact same cadence together, matching each other with perfect timing. I mean, they've been going for like 10 minutes now. Don't they ever get to rest?
No, they must continue to dance.
Poor little bananas.
Nate says,
do they even get pajamas?
Can you use Ubach? Can you use Ubach Origin on your TV? I don't even know if you can do that on your TV.
Well, I don't have any kind of like USB stick. I just have the apps.
Interesting question. So yeah, Scotty didn't even have a TV when he was a kid. He was just listening to the radio. Oh, but when after the war, he would listen to the radio again, and he was like, "Wait, there's some really bad acting going on radio. What is this terrible nonsense?"
That's hilarious.
And basically, well, I'm just remembering the book. This is not verbatim. And he goes to the local radio station. He says, "Can I read some stuff?" And he read some Shakespeare. He read some other stuff, and he listened to it, and he hated it. But the radio program director said, "What are you talking about? That was great." And so that actually encouraged him to continue. And he, so he started. That's like everybody mentioned already. He started with radio. But no, he was also friends with Lindsay Nielsen. That was good too. But I mentioned that already. What else do I have here? He did technical education, but no, that's not important. That was just what he was trying to do before he figured out acting. So he figures there was an act of God that he got into acting.
Well, yeah, and that's reasonable to say after you've been shot 6 times.
Yeah, and still alive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
6 times. That's insane.
Hello.
So he's
I'm sorry. My name is James Doohan. If you may remember me from Star Trek. I was also in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, but also I was part of the invasion of Juno Beach and Normandy. And so World War II. So that may give me some credit. Also, by the way, I was in Pretty Maids all in a row.
Oh, and yes, he probably won't list that as one of his credits, but we'll go. But that's exactly what we're doing.
He was in space.
Some of his credits, including the Twilight Zone, which I haven't gotten to. Season 4, episode 3.
Can't
Valley
wait.
of the Shadow is going to be an episode that'll be fun to talk about soon after I finish For All Mankind. But I want to talk to Nate Wolf on the Rumble side. He says, I'm going to head off. I'll be setting up soon. You take care. Oh wait, I heard the Twilight Zone. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about the episode because I haven't seen it in a long time. But yeah, no, James Doohan's been in a lot of things besides the Twilight Zone. He's also
Your
been in
mother.
Outer Limits.
No.
Maybe the Outer Limits, Fantasy Island, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm just
you're so fun to play with, Jill. Thank you so much.
Bonanza. Oh, he was in Bonanza, and Majel
He
Barrett.
is a bonanza.
Majel Barrett.
Forrest Kelly was also in a bunch of westerns.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen Gunfight at the OK Corral. I want to. I have to.
And Nate has not finished the Outer Limits. Yeah, me neither. I've got to watch Outer Limits at some point. Some people want me to review it one day, so we'll see what happens. It takes so long for me to get through seasons.
When you said he heard
through 2030.
When you said he heard Twilight Zone, all I could think was.
Oh, is that the pinball machine?
No, it's the 80s song Stepping Into the Twilight Zone.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
And one role that he really liked was playing Man in the Wilderness opposite Richard Harris.
Oh, cool.
And
Richard Harris was such a good actor, man.
Yeah, my favorite Dumbledore.
The only Dumbledore.
Well, MacArthur Park is frightening in the dark. All the dinosaurs are running wild.
Yeah.
Well,
that's Weird Al. That's Weird Al.
The cake out in the rain.
Weird Al.
I'll never get that recipe again.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Super. Sorry to over-explain.
By the way, you had mentioned radio dramas, sometimes being bad. I can highly recommend a radio drama that has been being made for a couple months now by a fellow YouTuber, Swap Shop. He's been remaking.
I like him.
Yeah, he's been remaking the Star Wars sequels. He starts his series at the end of The Force Awakens. It is called Praxium, Praxeum, of the Pathfinders. He just finished episode 12 a couple days ago.
Oh,
It
cool,
is
cool.
brilliant. It is fantastically acted, incredibly well written. The music, the special effects, everything.
Who plays
is
Rey?
Top notch. I do not know who the cast is.
Okay.
And
does it sound like them?
Yes, yeah. The voices are very similar. I don't want to say too much about who plays whom because I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Sure.
Do Ray and Finn get hooked up in this?
Not
version?
giving away any spoilers.
Oh,
is there? No, I can't make that joke. It's too early in the day.
Each episode is only 30 to 60 minutes long. It would only take you 6 to 8 hours to listen to the whole thing.
Baked Linguini's gonna go grab some food. Have a good stream. You have a great stream too.
Get some
I'm so glad I found you. You know,
in the name of Christ, get some Chick-fil-A.
It is so hard to find people on Rumble, and I'm so lucky that I found you. I hope to see you again and have a good stream, Nate. I know I'm glad you're here also, but I know you're setting up too. And so when I'm done here, I'll see if I can figure out how to raid you if you're going. And so, what were you talking about?
Keith says,
Mr. Brown. Is Mr. Brown in it?
No. Keith in the chat says, but was he ever in Perry Mason? Everyone was in Perry Mason. And all I have to say to that, Keith, is, are you calling Perry Mason a whore?
I've never seen Perry Mason to be able to answer that, but I could say William Riker is. So I would so the very last time we get to see Montgomery Scott is in Star Trek Generations. What do you guys think of that appearance? He's not very much of Scotty in that. Not enough. We needed more Scotty in Generations. It would have been a better movie.
So they blew the whole death of Kirk when they made the movie The Undiscovered Country, because anyone who knows their Shakespeare knows the undiscovered country comes from Hamlet's soliloquy, "To be or not to be." He says, "For when death, that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler hath returned." That's what the undiscovered country is. Death. He's weighing
So you're
whether or
saying
not
if they're
it's
going to
worth.
kill Kirk, they should have
It
done
should
it
have
in
been
Shakespeare.
in the undiscovered country. I heard that was a title, and I was like, "Oh God, they're finally going to kill Kirk." And then they have the
Wow.
Klingon saying, "To the future, the undiscovered country." And I'm going, "Oh, kiss my."
Interesting. I've never heard that opinion before. That's fascinating. I'm so glad I have you here.
That
So
ticked me
weird.
off so hard. Oh my Lord,
Yeah.
I was ready to spit tacks.
Nate says, "Dude, spoilers." Yeah, you kind of need to know Star Trek sometimes on this channel. But I'm so glad you're here, though.
Well, I haven't given away too
but
much on that. I mean,
I give it all
Other-
away.
You just said
other-
Captain Kirk doesn't die.
okay, that's slight
Hey, yeah.
spoiler. But when does
No,
Kirk
but-
die? Well, shh.
Well, basically,
In Star Trek Generations.
my only problem with Generations is that he dies under a bridge instead of on his bridge. But he did always know he was going to be alone. So that's another thing, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Keith says, "I would say something about Gomer Pyle, but that would be totally inappropriate." Would it? Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
That was
Old
my
man-
that
old
was my
man Bird
Gomer
likes the
Pyle
comment.
impression.
Old man likes that. Old man Bird likes that comment. And let's see. Yeah. No, James Doohan's great. And I think we might have covered
Well, no,
most
you
of
asked
everything.
a question. You asked a question in
Mhm.
regards to Star Trek Generations and how I felt. You asked everybody, but I'm going to take responsibility for my answer. Is how I felt about the last on-screen performance of James Doohan as Scotty, as Montgomery Scott. And I thought he was great. There are things that I would have loved about that opening scene. It should have been Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. But you know what? Based on when it was made, it's not all about money. Like, DeForest Kelly would have been there if he could have been. Unfortunately, medically, he could not be there. And Leonard Nimoy didn't have to be there. And so he wasn't, because it was more of a vanity vehicle for Bill Shatner. And so the handing over was given to Chekhov, Demora Sulu, and Scotty. And I think that, yes, it was obvious that they didn't take a moment to change any of their dialogue from the initial anticipation of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. But I do think that it is a nostalgic enough opening to Star Trek Generations. It does look a little too TV, but it is nice to see the interactions between Kirk and Scotty. It's like the moment when Captain Kirk walks into "Hold it together until I get back, Scotty." And Scotty says, "I always do." And the smile on Jim's face. It's just like he does. He always does.
Yeah. And he can always trust the Enterprise in Scotty's hands because of all the characters on the original series. The ones who loved the ship the most were Kirk and Scotty.
Yes. Absolutely.
My poor Bearns. Whenever I heard him say that the first time, Scotty, on that episode, I was like, what the hell is a Bearns? Apparently that's like a child, a baby. So he sees the engines as his baby.
It's just, I do appreciate Star Trek Generations more than most.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, you do. You do. I have so many problems. When you talk about it, I'm just like, you know what? Shatner probably just did it so he could ride some horses around. That he did seem to have a lot of fun jumping over that chasm.
Yeah, I guess. As far as Doohan's performance in it, I mean, Doohan's always great as Scotty. It's just why did it have to be that piece of crap?
Shatner anyway. Yeah.
But that's also
it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't good.
That's the thing that really pulls me into the movie is that I know that it as a whole, the movie is not the best, but it's the moments in the movie that I pick out, and I'm just like, that's a great performance. That's a great interaction. That's something I loved. What a great special effect. Oh my God, they reused the Star Trek VI destroyed bird of prey. Fuck off. And like, but there are things throughout that movie, and there is something about that. I love Star Trek Generations. I also love Star Trek V.
James Caserta says Shatner is a centaur, half man, half horse. Horse's ass? Oh, okay.
Oh, cock. Wait.
I love Shatner, so
do I.
He does love his horses. He does. He is one with the horse. Gavin says James Doohan.
Be one with the horse, Captain. From Star Trek V.
Final acting role was James Doohan's final acting role was Judge Peterson in the 2005 direct-to-video science fiction horror film called Skinwalker: Curse of the Shaman. Oh. Keith says, I'm sure I'm going to get this wrong, but I've given her all I can. Giving her all she's got. You almost got it.
I think even like I've seen Red Letter Media review an episode or a movie with Jimmy Doohan in it, and they were like, it's palpable that they're like, don't be mean to Scotty. He's there. He's collecting a check. Don't be mean to Scotty.
Yeah. No, it seems like a lot of people were nice to him because he was telling the story where, it's interesting. Everybody can speak English in space. And then he was saying even the Gorn can. He was doing this for years. And then one day he actually watched the episode again. And he was like, wait a minute. This is the one episode where he's not speaking English and we need a translator. And so he figured out the truth himself because nobody was brave enough to tell him the truth, I guess, because he just kept telling this lie, but he didn't know it was a lie. But anyway, he does. You don't want to be mean to Scotty because he inspired so many people, so many engineers, astronauts, including Neil Armstrong.
Yep.
Who said. From one old engineer to another. Thanks, mate.
When was that?
It was Doohan's last onstage public appearance in 2004.
And Neil Armstrong said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From one old engineer to another. Thanks.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I love it when astronauts are fans of Star Trek.
Me too.
A very dear friend of mine passed away a couple of months ago. He was a doctor. He was in the Air Force, and he actually got to be a flight surgeon for one of the shuttle launches. And he was as giddy as a schoolboy during that launch because he was inspired to become a doctor because of another flight doctor in a spaceship launch in the 60s, Dr. Smith in Lost in Space. Even though he was a villain and then later a comical character, that character inspired my friend to become a doctor and then got to serve as a flight surgeon.
Oh.
I got to tell Zachary Harris that story. And Zachary listened, and then he said, I've inspired more than you know, my boy. And I'm like, wow, pompous yet haughty.
He's probably right. I didn't even know. Lost in Space meant a lot to a lot of kids who watched that show.
Yeah.
And you know what? In as much as Dr. Smith was a pain to the rest of the crew, Will Robinson liked him.
Yeah, but the first 4 or 5 episodes, the crew had to go to the writers and say, you can't keep doing this. If you keep writing Smith the way you're doing, our characters are going to have no choice but to shove him out an airlock. So they had to change him from being the evil character he was for the first couple episodes into being the goofball that he became.
And it wasn't just the writers; it was Zachary himself. He figured it out himself. Jonathan Harris. His name is Jonathan Harris.
Not Zachary. Yes, Jonathan.
Yes, Jonathan Harris.
Yeah, Zachary was his character's name.
He helped.
Which
he helped
me.
turn the character comedic. Yeah, what does it remind you of, Scotty?
It reminds me that
R37.
Jedi Master over on Jedi Master's channel is reviewing what's it called? Lost in Space.
Lost in Space with me.
With you. I don't like Lost in Space, so I don't go over there. But like everybody, you know what? If you are a fan of it and you are earnest about it, Jedi Master is doing great work for the fans of Lost in Space. He has people who also love that show. So I recommend going and checking that out.
Definitely.
I will.
Definitely.
I didn't even know about it.
Buddy, R37, if you want to put Jedi Master's link in the chat, you're more than welcome.
I can't type right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do it in a minute if I can, but I just wanted to say, Gavin.
I thought you had a bot.
Well, but I didn't set it up right, so I haven't completely made it easy to do.
Defective bot.
So,
no,
well, it's not
phone is
defective,
charging.
it's
I
just not-
can't do it. Anyway.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
All right. It's your channel.
I know, but
Jill
you're supposed to be my XO, man. All right.
Jill is pulling a Thanos.
It's
Fine,
Friday.
I'll do it myself.
Gotta get down on Friday.
I still don't believe you, Scotty.
Oh, you can
Friday. Yeah, you're the only one that makes me think of that damn song.
I know.
So I knew that I would be able to know when we're almost done with the show when I got to Elvis. So I got to the Elvis part of my notes. Do you guys know about the Elvis story?
I do not know the Elvis story.
It's not a big story.
Before you get into it, did you notice Gavin actually posted the link same time you did?
Oh,
he did.
Good
Thank
job,
you,
Gavin.
He tried to help.
I should have asked.
No, he
Gavin.
succeeded. He's
Good
great.
job, Gavin. Thank you so much.
Gavin's always on our side. That's the best.
Thank you, Gavin. Lost in Space had its ups and downs, says Pleasant Valley Picker. And thanks for listening in today, PvP. Season 1 is great. Season 2, oh no. Season 3 got back on track. And it's just like, I know the Great Vegetable Rebellion happens in Season 3. So at which point does it get back on track after that?
Well, all I can tell you is the episode with the Keeper, played by Michael Berry, introduces a sound effect that I can't remember his last name, the sound effect guy in Star Wars took.
Ben Burt.
Ben Burt took for the. I wanted to say that, but I thought that was like, wait, isn't that the comedian?
It's fine. It's fine. I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to show you up.
Oh no, but there's this giant crab spider thing making this roar that they add a Doppler effect to, and that becomes the TIE Fighter engine sound. When you see the episode, tell me I'm wrong.
I'm never going to see the episode. I believe you already.
But
It's
I
a
saw the
brilliant
episode, but I can't think of.
I don't
think
like
of
Lost
the
in
sound
Space.
exactly.
That's all.
Well, nobody cares, Scott. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Brutal.
It's almost like I have cancer or something. No.
Yeah, you're fired. We're just have to find ourselves a new. You're fired. We're just have to find ourselves a new giant. That's all.
I like lower decks. Nobody cares.
No, I don't like
God,
Lower Decks
Lower
either.
Decks.
But no, you have more people in my chat on your side than on my side on that one. There are way more Lower Decks fans.
I'm on your side, Jill. Lower Decks is for
thanks.
crap.
Yeah, it's just,
whatever.
it tries
I
to be
don't care.
respectful. Like 1 second.
I
and
bet
then
you
it
like
gets
coconut
offended.
and mango.
No, I don't like coconut or mango.
No.
Oh, well, then you're supposed to be on my side.
Okay. Anyway,
No.
speaking of Elvis, all right. There was one time where he pulled alongside a big 7-passenger car. It could have been a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. I guess he didn't know which one precisely. And he wanted to warn the driver that it looked like he was having problems with his front wheels. And it wasn't until he pulled up that he realized the driver was Elvis Presley. So he called over to the king. You got to get this to the garage. The front wheel shouldn't be doing that. And Elvis said, "Okay, Scotty." That's it. That's the entire interaction.
It's pronounced garage. It's like
Well,
sabotage.
Okay. Anyway, I just like that. It's really sweet.
Didn't mean to step on the punchline.
No,
And
you're
yet.
okay. You're
And yet.
You're okay. We're
did.
almost done. We're almost done. I think we're almost done because the other story I had, we already covered that. And I think we're pretty much wait a second. Star Trek guest actor William Campbell served as best man at Doohan's wedding.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, this is
The wedding.
Aegis
the wedding-
O'Con- No.
The wedding to the 18.
No, William Campbell, Trelane.
Yes.
Trelane. Yeah, that Campbell.
Yeah. That was to his last wife, the one who was 18.
Yeah, in 2000. So wow. Okay. He
died in 2005, right?
Yeah, it was way before 2000.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. He had his last baby in the year 2000.
That's correct. That was Charlie. Yeah.
Okay, so the marriage happened
in
1974.
74. Yeah.
Okay. And he was married 3 times. We're just getting to the personal stuff. And of course, Christopher, I just wanted to mention Christopher because Christopher goes on to play Scotty too in one of my favorite Star Trek fan films or fan series called Star Trek Continues, which I reviewed on this channel.
When he also played a transporter technician in Star Trek 2009.
I love when actors' sons play their characters in as younger versions. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Bill Paxton played an agent, Agent Garrett, and he ends up dying. The show starts taking a time travel take in its last season. They end up going back in time and running into Garrett as a young agent. Bill Paxton's son played him, and he was absolutely in every manner, way, and form his father. It was brilliant.
Well, have you watched Monarch?
No.
And that's the Godzilla TV show on some channel. But it's got Kurt Russell playing the older version of Wyatt Russell. I think his last name is Russell. And so it's father and son playing young and old.
Cool.
Yeah. I just don't give a care about television shows about Godzilla.
For me, it would just because it's on Apple TV. I'm not spending money for Apple TV. I understand it has a lot of good shows.
Ditto.
But I love For All Mankind, and I am paying for Apple TV, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only thing I have asked for in terms of piracy is Pluribus.
I am not. I'm not paying for Apple TV because of Apple TV. I'm paying for it because I want to support Ronald D. Moore, who is writing some good stuff. So
I think iOS people are mentally challenged.
Well, I largely do not use Apple, but For All Mankind is just that good.
If you have Apple and you're listening to this on an Apple device, I would like you to just quietly
Be
reflect.
nice. Okay?
Yeah. Come on, Scott. Hey, if you have Apple and you're listening to this show, thank you so much. We love you for it.
Yay. Okay.
Also,
think
quietly
about your
reflect.
life. Think about what you've done.
Yeah. Just accept what you've done.
All right. I've gotten through all my notes. I love James Doohan. I wish I would have finished the whole autobiography. When it gets here in the mail, I will finish the last few chapters. I'm on chapter 14. The only thing I have left in my notes are James Doohan's 38 Star Trek episode reviews, and I want to read them all one day. I'm only going to mention one thing because I only got through a few of them, but the one that stood out to me was Naked Time. Apparently, when Sulu, of course, was practicing his fencing, he almost stabbed James Doohan, and so George Takei, I'm sure, was very upset about that. But in his apparently James Doohan says in his defense, he was trying to get away from everybody, to practice away from people, and I interrupted him. but he almost stabbed James Doohan. And that's kind of fun.
So had he been stabbed, it would have been his own fault.
That's what he says.
Good on him for admitting that.
Yeah, he says that. But he also advises George Takei, next time practice in your trailer or your dressing room.
Yeah, because
I don't know if
there's lots of room in a trailer for practicing swordplay.
Yeah, I know. You need a whole gymnasium for that, or a dance hall,
or at least just a good-sized dining room.
Mm-hmm. So my last message will be listening, going to cook dinner. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Keith. You were here the whole time. That must mean this was an okay show. And I appreciate you and Old Man Bird and everybody hanging out today to talk about James Doohan. And so I think we've succeeded. We've said a thing or two. And if anybody has anything more to say, there will be room in the comments below to say whatever you want. And for now, Scotty R37, do you have anything you want to add before we go? Anything you want to promote or say about our favorite engineer or second favorite, depending if you like Miles O'Brien?
Oh, come on, he's my favorite. Yeah. He is the reason that I love Miles O'Brien is because of the template of Montgomery Scott. And he is one of the reasons that I love the ensemble of the original crew of the Enterprise. Part of the reason why we're doing this every month, we're celebrating people. It is the 60th, and we're talking about the main people from the original series. And yeah, I love Miles O'Brien because it is sort of like a spiritual expansion. What would have happened if Scotty got married? I don't know. So I get to see Miles.
Oh, that's kind of cute. Yeah. I wonder if we would hate Scotty's wife just as much as everybody hates.
Yeah, the chick with the crazy eyes.
And she would have ended up being a presumed widow when he never returned from that mission.
See, we don't know what happens.
Wow.
She would have died. She would likely have died of old age while he was stuck in that transporter.
But I do love Star Trek. I do love the characters. But more importantly, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, is that there are two actors who I admire most, and it corresponds with their characters. And that is James Doohan as Montgomery Scott. He was a dude doing his job. He was never disrespectful. He was always cooperative. He was capable, and he was amazing. And that is why I think his character survives. And that is because of the actor who performed that character. I have nothing but the most heart for that Aberdeen man.
And subscribe to Cinema Gulp.
Yeah.
Phantasmagorium show.
Yeah.
And follow Scotty R37 on X if you want to laugh or two. Or to be confused.
Oh, and subscribe me on my YouTube channel because I do have a video of a cat watching Commando.
Yeah, pretty soon I'll put your YouTube channel on there because I do know you were thinking about doing something else on your channel.
Not
oh
on
my
that
goodness.
one. I got to make a new channel.
No, you're gonna make it a new one. Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna be looking out for it. Claude Parrish is here.
Claude.
Yeah, Claude. Yeah, that's how Briggs used to say it.
I know.
What up, Jill? Hello. And also, John Burns is showing up here at the end here because the only thing I have left for this stream is a bunch of clips, and it's like I'm not going to sit here and play all those clips, but I always over prepare with what I got. John Burns.
To answer John
that's
Burns.
Okay. That's what we wanted to do.
To answer John Burns, absolutely, positively, she is
hot.
John Burns, do you think Kaylee is a miracle worker? Yeah, she's awesome. Well, because she wasn't even hired as an engineer. It was like some stoner guy or whatever. That was her boyfriend, right? And
her F buddy.
Well, no, and John, I do not think she was a miracle worker. Well, I do think she was a miracle worker, but she never boasted.
No, but she was.
But the ship kept going. Yeah.
Being a miracle worker based on Monty Scott. Oh, wow. Who do I want, Scotty or Kaylee? Depends on the size of the ship.
Womp womp.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
If I got a pickup truck of a ship, yeah, I want Kaylee.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. No, she's a good engineer too. That's a good point.
Also,
part of Firefly.
Mr. Scott, you've
she's
been
beautiful.
eating too many sandwiches. We need to get rid of some of the weight. Kaylee, Kaylee weighs less.
I like her in Stargate also.
I liked her in Wonder Falls. Neither of you know Wonder
I just
Falls.
think I think it's an interesting.
It was a brilliant little show on Fox. 12 or 13 episodes. They only aired 4 of them because, of course, Fox has to cancel every show they make. The 12 or 13 episodes tells a complete story, and Jewel State ends up in the last, I think, like 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh, and Low Spec Linux Gaming is here with some penguins for the chat, and he's using one of my little emojis of my icon. Great to see you, Jeff. See you around. I hope everybody has a fun Friday. There's just so much to do, and so I guess
if you can believe it,
guys. Yeah,
it's Friday once again.
No, I can't.
And
don't play the video. You already did it.
As annoying as Geordie LaForge was the time he met Scotty, I do like what Scotty ends up saying to him when he says this.
I may be captain by rank, but I never wanted to be anything else but an engineer.
That's not the one I meant. but
that's a good line.
Yeah, it's still a good line, but it's true. Yeah, he did get promoted, but that is who he is, an engineer. And that's how he is in real life too. Like, I feel like some of this is coalescing into reality, because in reality he did become a leader, but when he was an actor he realized he just liked to play the game.
You're the chief engineer of a starship, and it's a time of your life that'll never come again.
Yeah.
Try to appreciate it while you're in it.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure that Geordie did before that moment. I mean, he was always a good engineer, but I don't think he had as much heart, and I think that helped. Let's see. Oh yeah, we said a lot of these.
Miracle worker.
Oh, that's right. Here it starts like
Certainly, sir. How else can I keep my reputation?
As a miracle worker. They're a little bit. they're a little bit cut up.
A little.
That's just a little.
Scotty, I can't change the laws of physics.
And this is where I play a few clips that I didn't get to play during the stream, but also I love Star Trek 4, so I had to play at least 2 of these from there too.
Hello, computer.
And a keyboard. How
the
quaint.
Keyboard. How quaint. Yeah.
Thank you. I knew somebody would.
The keyboard. How quaint.
Okay, so let's see if I have. Oh.
Admiral!
Never get drunk unless you're willing to pay for it. The next day.
See?
Admiral, there be whales here.
Oh, that's really well done.
You know, it's funny. No matter how drunk I get, I don't have hangovers.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, but that could be a problem too.
Why?
If you don't know when to stop.
Sure I do when I pass out.
This isn't really a claymore, right? That's what I remember, is that this isn't really a claymore.
You're a beauty.
Oh,
I think
that was nowhere near long enough to be a claymore. That was a longsword.
It may be, and I'm going to go after I make this observation, but I think one of my favorite things is at the end of Star Trek 6, when McCoy says that's a pretty big ship, referring to the Excelsior, and the captain is Sulu, and Scotty says, not so big as her captain, I think. And it's such a compliment. Also, considering his response to the Excelsior in Star Trek 3, it's a callback, but it's a compliment.
If my grandmother had wheels.
Yeah.
She'd be a wagon.
The ship means nothing without the man at the helm.
But he proved how bad that ship was. The more you overthink the plumbing, the easier it is.
And then the Excelsior came to save the day in Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
True.
At the Battle of Kittimer.
I was wrong about that sword. I went back on the YouTube on my phone here and paused it. That's just rapier. That's a Spanish rapier.
A rapier, thank you. All I knew was that it was not a claymore.
Yeah, it's a very thin bladed sword.
Oh, of course. I can't end this without a little bit of trouble with tribbles.
Laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that?
What, did he say rapiest?
Well, sir, this was a matter of pride.
Yeah.
No, he said rapier.
You gotta love that scene where
you're so far back. We gotta end this stream.
Yeah. You gotta love that scene though when Kirk is like, okay, so you started the fight when he insulted me. No, sir. No, sir. When did you start the fight? He called the Enterprise a garbage scow, sir. And that's when you started the fight. Aye, sir. It's a matter of pride.
yeah, exactly. That's how it goes. And when he does send him to his quarters, not exactly the brig, but he sends him to his quarters, she's like, oh, that's great news. I could catch up on my technical manuals. And the episode of ends like this. And
well, there'll be no trouble at all.
When he sends the tribbles over to the Klingon ship, and apparently that particular line, he was supposed to say trouble, and it was James Doohan's choice to change it to tribble. So that's how we'll end the stream today. And now I'm done. We have more clips. We're gonna stop there. There's my tribble. Right there.
Aww.
Yeah. I got this at a Star Trek convention. So
what a shock.
Yeah. So I want you, Dutch Gradient. Do you have anybody you want to promote, or yourself, or any links? Put them in the private chat so I can share them for you, so we can head out of here soon.
Shall do. I basically have my own channel. I would love to get people to subscribe to it. I've had people asking me to live stream an Aliens board game that I own, and I'm willing to do it, but I can't live stream until I have 50 subscribers. I currently have 30.
Oh, I didn't. I forgot that there was a limit to that. I don't remember. I don't remember when I was able to live stream. Has that restriction always been there?
I have no idea. I'm only recently in YouTube. I mean, I've had my channel for a couple of years, but excuse me, but I've never really done anything with it.
Okay, so put that link in the private chat so maybe some of my friends could subscribe and help you get to that point where you can live stream.
Okay, yeah, that would be here.
Oh, there's a bot on Twitch I gotta kill. Kill the bot.
No, give them my email address.
Nobody. Okay, I don't know how to do that.
No.
You're gonna have to do it yourself. You're gonna have to go on Twitch and find the bots yourself.
I gotta find the bots and then send my address to them.
Yeah.
Bored now, right?
No, you gotta do your own networking. I can't do everything.
Right, I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't ask you so much.
Okay, there we go. So youtube.com/@Dutch Gradient. And if you had fun listening to Dutch Gradient respond to Scotty and I today, make sure to go over and subscribe to him so he can finally live stream. And how many away are you?
20 subscribers away.
All right, let's close that in.
Sorry?
Let's reduce that number.
I appreciate that. I'm also going to share the swap shop Praxium of the Pathfinders.
Okay.
There you go.
That's a little. Oh, is that a specific live stream?
No, that's the first video. That's the opening crawl.
Oh, a video on your channel. Gotcha.
No, that's Swap Shop.
Oh,
That's Swap Shop's Praxium of the Pathfinders, the Star Wars.
Okay, now I get it. The
Star Wars radio drama.
The sequel. The sequel series. That is not as bad as the Disney.
He basically takes the premise of Force Awakens and then vastly improves on the whole thing. Again, I'm not going to talk about what he does. It is worth listening to. You guys will love it. Trust me. If you're real Star Wars fans, and it seems like you are.
Every Star Wars fan is a real Star Wars fan.
Bullshit. I'm sorry, what?
Well, then fuck yourself.
Need a bloomin' cuckoo clock.
Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be that. I was just kidding around. Sorry.
No, I know.
Should seal the incision.
I feel like there's a problem here, so I'm trying to reverse the polarity.
Well, I can go. I thought we were over.
We are over. I'll see you guys
later.
We're
getting into a Star Wars argument, which is going to get heated.
I know, it's so weird, Scott. You don't understand Texans when they say it's time to go. We stand around for 40 minutes saying goodbye.
I know. You don't understand Canadians. I stand around and be like, all right, if you want to stick around, I'm going to tell you to go eat your own foot.
But you can go if you want to. Anytime.
Okay, I'll see you in the future.
Bye.
No, dude.
But
Dutch, very pleasant to meet you. I am looking forward to a debate.
It would be cool.
And Jill, thank you once again for letting me on. And also, most importantly, thanks to James Doohan, not only for what he did in the fight for freedom, but also in the fight for entertainment and hope.
He fought against evil itself, and he succeeded.
And he got shot by his own side.
Yeah, true. John Burns says, I posted some great comments. Thanks for letting me do this. At least he never seems to be mad at the person who shot him, because he just understands that person was scared and didn't know what to do. And anyway, we'll see you all next time. Thank you for everybody. Thank you to Scotty. Thanks to Dutch Gradient.
And Jill, thank you again for letting me on. I really appreciate it.
And although we didn't have him for a super long time, it was also good to see. Oh, who was here earlier? Somebody was. Richard Spake. That's you. Yep. Richard Spake was here earlier. It was good to see him too. And thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat as well, including. We can get the top fans over here. Gavin, number one. Gavin, you made it. I don't know if you're still here, but you're number one. There we go. And then Power Ranger Donnie, Tim, Jamie, Keith, Old Man Bird, Classic Comics, Pleasant Valley Picker, Kevin, Theme Park Adventures, Snortopoopas Cooper, Franco Walker, even though you fell asleep hours ago, you're still in the running. And Larry, James Caserta, Maddie's Daddy, Rogu, Herc 130, Max Redstone, Tony Stark CEO, Claude Parrish, Richard Spake, Abe's Gonna Get Ya, John Burns, Gorillas, Random Thoughts, Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift, Matt G, I also made you a mod on Twitch. I don't know if you ever go on Twitch, but if you ever notice a bot over there, that's basically all I do over there because I don't understand Twitch. It's like I think it's for children, so I don't know what's going on over there. Tiger Stripes, Mark D with the C, Matthew Eagle, Rockstra. Oh, Rockstra! That's a Patreon. Pretty soon I'll make a Patreon thank you video for the credits. I just haven't got around to it yet. Aegis Flow, another Patreon member, as well as Tiger Stripes. And thank you, Dutch Grading, for joining the panel. Only Greg was here. How come sometimes people are in my top chat list, but I don't see them in the chat itself?
That is weird.
Greg, thanks for hanging out. Canadian Spider-Man was here pretty early. Lance, Outcast Creative. LDG, always good to see. Don Lewis, also somebody I don't remember seeing in the... Now the triple's mad at me.
Uh-oh.
I was lucky earlier when it was purring. Now it's angry.
Is there a Klingon nearby?
Well, no, I think it's just angry because I haven't ended the show and it's time to end it. So thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Good night, everyone.
Learn all that is learnable.
So I hope you learned something today.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
I enjoy hearing what you have to say. So leave me a comment.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
So let's continue creating conversations and ideas.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Share out the stream to bring more here. Bye for now. See you next time.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
What? How do we know he didn't invent the thing?